Hello, everybody. Jake here, and Hugo's going today. I don't know why I tried to do the sexy voice up front, but well, that's just what it is. So yeah, I'm gonna have to share this around a bit, let people know. This was going to be a Patreon thing. But Hugo ended up getting busy last second. Really important stuff that he actually definitely had to do. He's fine. Everything's fine. But he wasn't able to get in on it. So we're doing it here. We're just doing this. We're doing it live. We're doing it live. So let me send some things around to some people. And then I will discuss things with you guys. How's everybody doing tonight? Everyone good? Everyone real happy? I hope so. It makes me happy to know that you're happy. Hi, folks. Wow, that chat is just going fucking way too fast for me. Okay, all right. Well, we'll do our best. Did that just get like oddly brighter for a second? It did. It flared and then came back down. Okay. My power is fucked you, Kurt. I don't know what that means. Hi, guys. For the record, that's going to be way too fast for me. I'm only one man. There's a Streamlabs link in the chat right there. And and it's also in the description of the stream. And if you want to make sure that I see your shit, I strongly encourage that. Helps us keep the lights on during these trying times. It's why does it need to verify? Why do email verifications exist so much? Why does it have to happen all the time? Holy shit! You guys are all over the place. Do I want some cake? No, I really don't like cake. That's a thing I don't ever like. I just never like it. So, no. The answer is no. I would not like some cake. You're an okay. All right. So, anyways, if you talked, I don't know what NN is. How do you feel about NN? Net neutrality? Why would I be? Who's team net neutrality right now besides the lobbyists? I don't know. I don't know anyone that's like that. That seems off and wrong. Okay. Let's see. There we go. Finally. You should call your Congress people, by the way, about net neutrality. Fried Cassowary, $10. Hey, Jake, thanks for the stream. Did you watch any of the Game Awards the other day? If so, what did you think? I did watch the Game Awards. Do you guys want to talk about the Game Awards? Because I actually have notes that I took on the Game Awards because a lot happened. A lot happened. They were... I actually kind of liked the Game Awards, which is surprising. I didn't think I was going to. But there's a lot of really cool games. And, of course, there was a French guy, and then a baby popped out of some Norman Reedus' throat. It was all a thing, you know? It was pretty fucking crazy. Oh, another one. Balls donated $1. How do you feel about the new Patreon fees that are charging patrons? It's a good thing for patrons. The only people it really affects negatively, because it's like 30 cents. And honestly, as someone who also donates to people, if 30 cents is going to be a reason you don't do Patreon, then I mean you probably shouldn't have done it in the first place, in my opinion. However, people that do like several channels and they give like $1 to several channels, it does affect them. Me and other creators are trying to talk to Patreon because they're usually very receptive of making a one-time charge on the total amount of patronage, which makes way more sense because the percentage is it's like 2%. So it would turn out to be, if you donated $1 on Patreon, it'd be about $1.32 or something like that, or 38. It's 38. Which, I mean, not a big deal for me. I don't think it should be for anyone, really, because what it does is it takes like the people that you're donating to, the pledges on Patreon. It makes it so that instead of taking about 83%, which is what we typically take, we take 95% of that now. So I mean, it helps immensely, and so they just change it to a flat rate model instead of this variable thing where we'd have to pay different charges. I mean, it makes YouTube's system look straight up like robbery. So honestly, it's 100% worth it in my opinion. Again, the only people it really affects, besides, I guess people that are 30 cents away from the red line, which you should not be giving me your money if you're 30 cents away. It is the people that have 20, 25 creators that they like to support. It feels like they're getting penalized a little bit, so they're kind of having to pare down. Thankfully, and we've actually all of our patrons have stayed on, and we've gotten more actually, and some of them have increased their thing, because if instead of doing 4 $1 things, they did 1 $5 thing, and it's cheaper. So, will you be opening a make support account? I don't know what that is. Thoughts on Razor Fist? I have none. I don't follow that kind of shit. I want to donate some money, but YouTube won't accept my PayPal. I strongly suggest going through the Streamlabs link that is in both the description and the live chat. That does take PayPal. It's linked to PayPal. So, and thank you very much. That's excellent. So yeah, as far as the Patreon thing, I don't like that they're usually very good with communicating, and unless all of us missed it, they didn't tell us until you guys found out, basically at the same time, that same day, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 days ago. That's the only thing uncharacteristic about this, is really the speed at which they were making the change. But I think they decided to do it and had to get in under the new year. And with the holidays coming up, I believe that's probably the case. I've talked to Jack Conti myself when Patreon first started out. Like, they're very approachable. Like, you guys could be upset, and I think it's because there's this tacit connection between, like, Patreon and YouTube, and it feels like the same thing. Patreon is not YouTube. Patreon is amazing comparatively. They're really good people, and they mean well, and I trust them. And I wish people would put the pitchforks down a little bit, because if you ask any creator that's had any interaction with any employee from Patreon, they're fantastic and they communicate, and I guarantee they're listening. Whether or not that it changes how it's billed or whatever, that's another thing. But it's just so much different than YouTube. YouTube, it would happen without us finding out, and we'd have to go to our analytics to find out what was happening. Honestly, it's so different. So, do spiders have a puss? I don't know. Let's look it up. I'm pretty sure they have. I know they have a book lung. What are spider genitals? I believe they just have a hole. But let's see. Spider genitals. No, I just want to know about the genitals. Nope, just the genitals. Where's pedicel? Is that cephalothorax? No. Spinneret? No. They have an anus. They definitely have an anus. Okay, so their butthole is on the back, and they have a sperm receptacle and an oviduct. I'm sorry, are spiders... No, they can't be unisex. Detachable penises... Finishes without him? I'm sorry, what? Spiders can bang, and then their penis falls out? There's got to be a specific spider. Eunuch behavior is pretty confusing concept to most researchers. They really couldn't think of a way that having a break-off penis could be a break-off penis could be a good thing. What the fuck? Okay, so I don't know about the puss, but I do know that they have break-off dicks. So, That's just the case. Balls donated $5. You make me feel lots better about the new fees that Patreon is charging. You're right. That's not much more money. Yeah. Again, it kind of right now, and again, a lot of us, the creators specifically, are talking to. Huh? Am I back? Am I back? Huh? Okay. Yeah. Hey, Bunty. Hey, how you doing, Mr. Bunty? Love ya. Sorry, my computer just like shut off and it turned back on. All right, we're good. Who was the they gave? Hold on, maybe I can look. Maybe I can look. I don't wanna. You gave me $5. I don't wanna. Okay, yeah, I can find it. Robert Leslie had donated $5 when it stopped working. Will you guys ever do the Talmud Reloaded? I don't know, maybe. The next one on our list is the Book of Mormon Reloaded. I have that right here, actually. Here's a sneak peek at Book of Mormon. Whoosh. I have it. We're ooh, hey, look, I got this from actual Mormon peeps. I got little pictures at the beginning. Very nice. What a nice... Oh, look at... You guys want to see Mormon Jesus? He's a little more hairy than you'd think a Mormon Jesus would be. Like, he's got this, like he doesn't trim down here. So, kind of like me right now. So, yeah. Sorry about that. We're back. I keep forgetting I have a Quran. Yeah, we also do the Quran Reloaded. I don't know if you guys realize that. Man, so many people just left. That's too bad. That's too bad, because I was having a good time. It just dropped off immediately. There we go. Boop. Got to make sure the peoples know. These fucking live streams. Sometimes they fuck out. All right. Fuck, man, that's going so fast. Let me try to read someone. I gotta ask about net neutrality again. It's like you keep net neutrality. I don't. Fucking lobbyists are garbage. They're all fat boys. I was talking about before it blue screened, and I took a second to make sure Robert Leslie's question got answered. We'll consider the Talmud Reloaded. It's just rabbinic text. As far as the Patreon charging, again, I just want to make sure that everybody knows that creators like us are talking to Patreon, and it's a thing that they know that we are worried about it. So, hopefully it's all cool. It's all good in the hood. What job do you recommend other than programming for someone antisocial? What job for someone antisocial? I find that most jobs... A job in general is, by its nature, in service to another person. So, people that are antisocial, typically, you gotta just get the fuck over it. But a mortician... That's a good job for someone that's antisocial, because all your customers are dead as fuck. One of my best friends growing up, she wanted to be a mortician. I don't know if she ended up ever doing that. We lost touch, but she did move to Alaska and hikes a lot. Or did hike. She could have fallen off a mountain and died, and I would never know. Satanism Reloaded. The Church of Satan, we've talked on Twitter, and I might have them on the podcast at some point. Anyways, just so you know, 100% I will answer your question with a Streamlabs donation. By the way, we keep 100% of Streamlabs, so it's really, really good. But I'm gonna do my best anyways. I'm only one man, so I'm sorry. Usually I have that other guy as well. Are you going to move TQR over to this channel now instead of keeping them split up? No, specifically because it's the Quran, so I don't want it to affect our other content. We'll keep it over there. And if you're interested in the Bible studies, you're probably interested in the Quran studies, and so that's already a thing you kind of go to. If you are not someone who has seen it, but you are interested, let me get you a link. I mean, for a channel that is very, very secondary, it still gets, good views for the stuff, and we do our best. We just had a upload 2 days ago. Actually, the reviews on that one are really low comparatively, but just recently we have not been showing up in bars according to our analytics. So shaven or unshaven? You talking about my balls? Right now, they're not very shaven. Poop balls. Balls. You guys are garbage. You guys are just a bunch of cancer, aren't you? That's okay. I love you. I love you for who you are. Each one of you is important to me in your own way. Each of you is a baby bird. Boop. There we go. There we go. Okay, let me look at your fucking... I have Terry and Randy in the comments, friends of mine that are asking me to play Boshi, which is a video game. And it's hard as fuck. I think it's Remember the Boshi or something like that. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard and it makes me yell. It makes me yell so much. Church of Satan or Satanic... Church of Satan. You should play Doki Doki. I don't know what that is. What's a Doki Doki? Doki Doki Literature Club. Is that the same thing? This looks like an anime thing. I don't like anime. This game is not suitable for children or those who are easily disturbed. Psychological horror? What the fuck are you talking about? This just looks like a porn game. Is it just a porn game? What's the comments on this? It's scary? Just Monica. Okay, I'm not... There's no chance I play this. You would have to... It's a dating sim. It would take quite the feat to get me to play an anime game. Anime is garbage. It's not porn. Jesus Christ. Wow, there's just Monica. There's a K with... I don't know what the... Okay. I don't know your anime memes, kids. I don't know them. Would like... Maybe someday I'll know them, but... I did. I saw GTFO during the Game Awards. It looks decent. Are you gonna do a Church of Jediism Reloaded? No, but I am thinking about delving into who the fuck is Snoke, leading up to Star Wars next week on Unpop. I think we might, or I might. I don't know if Hugo's going to be involved. Do some live streams where we discuss the theories, because I have theories. Also on Twitter, I wrote to Ryan Johnson, director of the new ones, and to Disney. I was like, I got prequel ideas. Let me reshoot the prequels. I don't think it's going to work. Lucas Genuine, love your content. Thanks for the laughs, the entertainment, and knowledge. You're the best. No, you're the best, Lucas. You're the best. And now I have 10 euros. I'm rich. Are euros worth more than American dollars? Euros to dollars. They are. They are worth 1.18 American dollars. So take that, America. Take that. Super chat is open as well, of course. Again, I'm. If you got shit you want to ask me, the Streamlabs is the way to be. If you want to make sure I definitely answer your question, no matter how stupid it is, I promise you I'll answer your stupid questions. Tight glasses, thanks. I like them too. Also because they let me see. I can't read the chat without them. So that's why they're on. Because I have contacts somewhere, but my prescription is running out, and I'm waiting till after the holidays. So, euros used to be worth over 2. I actually saw that on the graph. I Googled it to see how much, and it showed the, how much it was worth over time. Canada's not worth more. It's like, no. Canadian dollar to US dollar. It's not worth more. There's no way. It's 78 cents on the dollar. It was very briefly in 2013 over, but it's been under forever. 2016 was the lowest. They're coming back, though. Whoa! I walk away for a second. The chat goes fucking crazy. Oh, now they have so many. Oh, God. Jake, do you think oregano helps with depression, or is it just a crutch? I assume you mean the illegal herb that other people smoke, not known as oregano. I think it helps with depression, like one at a time. Does that make sense? Like it's not a treatment for depression, and I wouldn't suggest it as a depression. But like, I think you should go to your doctor and get like meds and get actually diagnosed with depression, because it could be a variation of different chemicals that you're missing in your brain, and different hormones and stuff. So that and weed's not going to replace it. It's going to, but it could help what you got. You know what I'm saying? I don't suffer from it. So I mean, it just does all the things. Jake, can you please tell my dad to quiet it down? From Ethan Lindner. Lindner? Wow, that's a mouthful. It feels weird to come out. Yeah, I'll tell your dad to quiet down. Go ahead and take a second to, I don't know if you're wearing earbuds or anything. Take those out of your phone or your computer and turn that shit all the way up, and I'll give you a second. Ready? Hey, Ethan's dad, shut the fuck up! You gotta quiet down! You're too loud! I don't like it! Will you just... Seriously! No, don't talk! Don't talk! It's Ethan's turn. He paid for this. You shut your fucking mouth, Ethan's dad! Mr. Lindner! You garbage! There you go, Ethan. That was for you. You're probably grounded now. I'll just keep asking this till I'm seen. What's your favorite chick track? That's good. Brute Force. Serotonin. Randall Null. Thank you so much, Dr. Randy. What's your favorite chick track? Ugh. My favorite chick track. I think one of the most favorite that we've done that didn't involve a guest was Gomez's Coming. I feel like that was the turning point for our chick tracks. Fuck Ethan's dad. Fuck Ethan's dad. Judy Pie is one edgy fucking... What? Oh, I see that. Gotcha. Boop. There we go. That should be fixed. Yeah, there it is. What is the most overrated book? Just overrated book in general? I mean, that's an obvious question asking me, but let's assume a work of intentional fiction. Intentional fiction's a very good distinction. The most overrated book. Something like, I don't know. War and Peace. Fuck War and Peace. Is Patreon the best? The best for what? It is one of the best ways to support us, because it took care of that guy too. It's a recurring thing that helps us know what our budget is throughout the month. Does that make sense? It's like getting a paycheck. These donations really help too, of course. So like the Streamlabs thing, the Super Chat, although YouTube takes a big cut of Super Chat, which is why they enjoy it. You sent a Streamlabs? Oh, is it not? Okay, let me look at my Streamlabs. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I missed actually a few Streamlabs. It's just not... Sorry, guys. I'll get to them right now. It's just not showing up on my thing, my stream thing. That sucks. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Let me do a thing. Let me get a new widget URL, and let me put that in right now, just so I make sure that it doesn't fuck up. So maybe it should pop up on the screen, but okay, I'll try to keep Streamlabs open as well, because I can see them on here. They just don't. They're not popping up on the screen. That's kind of weird. Let me test a donation. Okay, so that's not a real donation. That was just a test donation. The John thing. Okay, so it should be working now, but I'm gonna read it. I'm sorry. Now I feel bad. Okay, so Balls gave $1 and just repeated the word balls like 30 times. So thank you for that. Daniel, hey Jake, no question, just enjoying your stream while working on genetics final paper. Decided after 10 years to leave business analyst career to pursue a biotech degree. Wanted to throw you a thank you. Keep up the goodness. Thank you so much, Daniel. You're the best. And also, I'm glad that you're like pursuing something that you really love. That's great. And thank you for supporting the thing that I love. That's fantastic. Dingleberry gave $5. Do you believe historical Jesus existed? Sorry this isn't popping up on the stream. I have the widget working. It's just not doing its thing. Oh, and I missed a super chat. I missed one. Nicole Roberto. I'll get back to this other one because this one's gonna run out. Hi Jake, I wanted to give you some money. I do, however, have a question about your sound. When doing TBR and TQR, can you turn your volume up? Yeah, I've heard recently that people are like, "Hey, you're quiet," but we turned it down because people were like, "Hey, you're loud, you're loud." So, yeah, we actually tweaked it the other day. We're gonna turn it up a little bit, but part of it's our mics. They're not like these aren't like super top of the line mics, so they can exceed threshold pretty easily. So, Dalton Pyron. $5 on Super Chat. What do you think of a show called Supernatural? I like it a little bit. It's corny, and about season 3 is when they realize they're corny, and they kind of own it, and then it gets a lot better. But, I mean, Monster of the Week show, it's hit or miss for me. It could be on in the background, and sometimes I'll sit down and watch it. Okay, back to the Streamlabs. Dingleberry asked for $5. Do you believe historical Jesus existed? My personal take on this, as a person with a history background, is the evidence we have for Jesus existing, like actually existing, is limited. However, that doesn't keep us from saying other people existed. But again, usually those people are important people that have documents and stuff that aren't... Like, they have the same amount of writings that Jesus would have, but Jesus is clearly a religious figure. You know what I mean? And I think the only reason that we really consider in the historical community, which is, I am in the minority here, a lot of people think a Jesus existed with the name Jesus, which I disagree with, because of the writings, the amount of writings, and how we corroborate with other people, like Alexander the Great, for instance. However, the stuff we have on people that don't resemble Jesus but have the same amount of writing are things that, like, or they're people that they're non-religious in nature. Does that make sense? So it's not just this. How do I put that? I don't know. It has more of a real world link to it than, hey, by the way, you should Galatians, you should be part of Jesus's thing. So yeah, it's kind of the way it's framed for me. But I do believe, as far as the historical Jesus is concerned, that it's an amalgam of several people. And I don't think the name Jesus or was a thing until later. It seems a little crafted. There may have been a few people named Yeshua. It's not a very uncommon name. The Messiah and the Messianic sort of legend, the myth, the prophecy was a thing for a long time, and so like that would happen. We have people today that do that too. So I'm not surprised that it happens. So yeah, I don't know. Historical Jesus, it's not one person. If it was, right, that makes sense. It was probably an amalgam of people, and it was clearly fabricated after a certain point. Vincent Smith, $5. Hey Jake, I love you and Hugo. You're my favorite YouTubers. If you were a furry, this is a hard one. What animal would you be? They look pretty dapper and in the same hat and glasses from your avatar. Not sure if this came through twice. No, it only came through once. I'd be a bear cat. I'd obviously be a bear cat. What a silly question. How dare you? Okay, we still got some more questions. Daniel Schmidt again. Unless that was... you might have done it twice. But thank you either way. Did you finally snap and murder Hugo from Dracon995? No, I did not. He is alive and well. And he is a good boy. He's just a little busy. Andy, donated 5. Hey Jake, figured I'd try one more time to catch your opinion on this. How do you feel about supernatural based films being allowed to say based on a true story? Came up with my horror and Western cinema class. Want to know what you thought? Legally, it's fine. Appreciate it, Andy. You're the best. Obviously, personally, I think it lets people believe in stupid shit that they shouldn't believe in. Spinner the Robot asked, Jake, can I draw you as a bear cat? Yeah, go for it. I'll send it to me and I'll try to put it on the stream. Unless that takes you a while. I don't draw, so I don't know. I don't know. Some of them are based on true stories, but it's so loosely based. Like, for instance, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies are based on Ed Gein. Because he wore some face stuff, but that's so far off. I don't know. I feel like there should be a rule that like an independent person should be able to make a determination: is this based on or inspired by? And I think that's a very big distinction. Inspired by implies obviously not a detailed account of the timeline of events. It implies that this sort of thing, like Ed Gein wearing someone's face. Their skinned face. That's a cool idea. I'm gonna make a whole villain around that. Yeah, that sounds cool to me. So it'd be better. Set up some mods. Chat needs help. All right, set up some mods. Man, I just keep getting at it. Let me see. Who gonna be a mod? Bex donated $3.89. Thank you guys so much for the amusement doing bio homework as I'm switching careers. I'm happy to find out I'm not the only one. Quick question. How did you decide to do the Bible Reloaded? Good question. We decided to do the Bible Reloaded. We were reading the Bible because Hugo's mom wanted him to read. He was very clearly non-religious, but... by the way, Legend of Phoenix is now a mod. He was not religious, but she wanted him to read the Bible, so he's reading it, and he's sitting in my car, and we're going to the gas station because he lived right around this corner. We're going to the gas station because we're going to hang out and talk or something. I don't know what we're doing. And we're grabbing like some Cokes and some chips or something. And... just gonna block that guy. I'm just gonna keep doing that. Two $5 super chats coming, but he started reading Noah's Ark, and we started just fucking laughing, and we always kind of had banter. I don't know if you can tell, but this is just actually how we talk to each other all the time, whether there's cameras in front of us or not. So. We started doing this bit, and I was like, and we had been thinking like we should do something on YouTube, and obviously it wasn't ever considered a job for us. We were just like, man, we should put our energy into something. We were looking for a project, and it just kept getting funnier and funnier, and we were very interested in this stuff we didn't know, because I had read the Bible a couple years before that, but it was like a speed reading. I was trying really hard to learn about this thing I didn't know, and so I didn't like take notes or anything because I wasn't a history student at that point. It was before I had gone to like actually like organized college courses. Because I was like maybe 19. I had just moved back. 20. I don't know. No, I must have been 21. I went to college late because I moved to Florida and then came back. But anyways, and I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do with my life. Turned out to be history. And then this. So many how dare you? I'm trying to think, but I'm trying to read all these other people too. How dare you? But yeah, so we started reading it, and it turned into this thing. The idea for the show was going to be way different to how it turned out, but now it's cool. Bill Skiernier, $5 on Super Chat. Thank you very much. You're the best. Hey, have you tried using Microscope in your RPG games? If you have not, it is a game/tool you use with other players to build a history for a world. Interesting. I've never looked at that. Dinkleberry donated $5. Tell us your best joke. I don't have like jokes. Oh God. I'm sorry. I feel bad. I don't have any jokes. I don't just tell the same jokes over and over. Yeah, no. I don't have jokes. I'm just off the top of my head, and sometimes I'm just an idiot. Josh Potts, $5. If I pay for the Unpop Patreon Goosebumps review, will you still review an episode of my choice? It would be a really incredible video. Yeah, we were actually going to move that around. So, maybe? We don't look at it very much. We have never really pushed the Unpop Patreon. Will you ever have the clown porn person that you mentioned on before? It's blocked. I don't know if it's blocked on my actual donations page. Let me see. Yeah, porn star. Will you ever have that clown porn star that you've mentioned before? Yeah. I think her name is Quinn, and she's really cool. And Tinkleberry donated $5 and wants a refund. That's how that works. Thank you though. I appreciate it. Yeah, Quinn's pretty cool. She might be here now. I have no idea. But when we do the podcast, I was thinking about having her be a guest because I think it's very interesting. Because she's not just like, she doesn't just do porn. She does fetish videos that aren't necessarily porn, if that makes sense. Like sometimes it'll just be like, listen to my stomach growl, which I find fascinating and totally not a turn on. So I think that might be very interesting. It's weird what gets you guys going. But I'm glad that there's someone out there doing that kind of stuff. And she's not the only one, which is interesting to me. It makes me feel so boring. Get back to me on the Patreon Goosebumps review, though. We want to do more Goosebumps stuff. They were fun. I'm trying to find that other guy. I'm just going to go here. Hopefully $10 is enough for 2 questions. Fine, let's do it. 1, pineapple on pizza, an abomination unto all things good, or just icky. I don't like sweet things that much. I would prefer pineapple off of pizza, but I have had good pineapple pizzas. Typically, they're with like bacon, onion, and ham. But the tomato sauce is what really gets me icky about it. So maybe without sauce. 2, you do more or less educating now when you were an actual teacher? That's interesting. I find that the jobs are pretty similar, except like I don't have to constantly, I don't know, fight with the students, I guess. But that was part of the thing I really liked. I liked socializing with them a lot and learning about their, like, who they were. I really liked helping kids learn stuff. I really liked, I don't know, it's just it's the most rewarding almost job I ever had was teaching, for sure. But this is an easy number 2. I know it sounds like it's dick jokes constantly. But I don't know, I would say I do more teaching as far as the number of people, I guess, right? I think that's pretty clear. The number of people that I have a reach to right now is much more than, 30 people per class, 6 hours a day. We're there for 7 hours, but you have 6 hours. at least at the school I was at, that you actually teach in. So yeah, it's a trade-off. It's not the sort of, I can't just learn about each and every one of you and have a personal relationship with each one of you, even if I'd like to, which I think would be, obviously it's too much for one person to have a relationship with, 160,000 people. But that's kind of the draw for teaching, is being kind of a person that they look up to. And there's so many bad teachers, and I always wanted to be a good one. And I guarantee you at some point in my life I will fall back onto it, and I will probably finish my life teaching in the classroom, probably part or full time. I just like the environment so much, and I feel like I do a pretty good job, and I may be full of shit here, I feel like I do a pretty good job of relaying concepts to people that otherwise wouldn't be able to get it, because I was a kid that had trouble understanding concepts. I needed it to be broken down in different ways than was being taught to me. So in high school, I didn't have honors courses or anything, but in college, until the very last year I went, but I was going through, there was a lot of shit going on that year in my life. Huge long-term breakup. I was moving all sorts of things. Like, it was a lot. So my last year I slipped, and then I just didn't go back. But and that was because the show took off, and so I was trying to focus way too much of my attention everywhere. But I was on the dean's list every year except that last semester of college, 4.0 or near it, because I was so interested in the thing. And like, I still have all my papers in a box. From my teaching years, I have a thing all the kids signed. They made a card for me. It was really awesome. It made me emotional. And I don't know, it was just a great experience all over the place. So Robert Leslie asking, with Canadian dollars this time, will you guys ever do the Talmud Reloaded? Yeah, I would. I sort of tried to answer this earlier, but I got cut off because the stream dropped. The Talmud, I don't even know. Do I have? Let's read PDF. Let's just see if the Talmud has a PDF. The Talmud. Let's see. Let me give you a little taste while this loads. It'll load up, and then we'll get there. Jake looks too young to be a teacher. They thought I was, in your 20s is young to be a teacher, I think. Put the chat in slow mode. I don't know if I can do that from here. I'd have to go to the advanced settings. I'll try to put it in slow mode. Slow mode! It should be in slow mode, but we'll see. Slow mode is on. There we go. Boop, 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 boop. And that's just so you can't spam, I guess, right? Gosh. Okay. I'm missing people. What was the... I'm trying to look for the... There it is. Talmud. The Talmud. Oh, this is... Never mind. This is a PDF about what the Talmud means. Listen to my interpretation of the Talmud. We might get to it. The Book of Mormon is first, though. So... This depends on if we still want to do a study after we're done with those two books. I think he's a Christian, but is there any chance, despite of that, of getting Linkara on for a chick track? I don't know. Hugo is a huge fan of Linkara, and I get it. He does a great job at what he does, and it certainly would be fun. I think he's good at stuff, but I just don't know. Having Christians on, I don't want to have to pull punches to not offend somebody, and because I like Linkara, I think I might, and that's not something I usually would do, I guess. So I don't know. I think on a podcast though, just talking would be excellent, and we could probably get that. So we'll see. I hear Linkara is religious, but I'm not reading that question. Jake, would you give up net neutrality to trade off for a ban on guns? No, I wouldn't. I think it's more important. I don't want to ban on guns anyway. That's a thing that people don't listen to when they say I have different opinions on the way we should be able to have guns. They think immediately Jake wants to not have guns. That's not the case. That's not it, you know? Fuck. Again, this is going pretty fast for me, so Streamlabs is right there. I'm definitely answering everyone that you guys donate for, trying really hard to keep up with the rest of them. But I will miss some stuff. Where'd you go to college, Jake? I went to okay, technically I went to the university down the street. It's not a big university. I guess the P.O. box is in the city, so I can just say it. Saginaw Valley State University, which has a pretty good teaching program. But I took 3 years of the classes that I would take there at the community college because they had a split program. I don't know if they still have it. So 3 of those years were at the community college because it was like a quarter of the price. And so I went there. Angry Arifa just subscribed. Thanks so much. Give away the Twitter. That's a great idea. Whiplash. What? What? I don't know what you guys are talking about. I don't know why. Are you guys giving him shit again? That poor man. The glasses look great. I'm glad you like it. Balls donated $2. I grew up Mormon. I've never read through the Book of Mormon. Maybe when you guys read it, I'll go through the whole thing. It's chloroform on print, though. I actually have a buddy, Jim. He was one of my D&D buddies back in Idaho. And he is an ex-Mormon. Actually, over the 2.5, 3 years-ish I've known him, he started Mormon and became atheist and then left the church all in the span of the time that I've known him, and it wasn't my fault. He was already kind of doing that. I didn't preach at him at all. I don't usually try to deconvert people. If they ask me questions, I'll definitely answer them honestly, though, and I definitely did that with him. But our DM, Mikey, is also an atheist, and so we would have conversations, and he kind of got it over time, but I don't think either of us ever... I don't know. We didn't ever like get aggressive with him. He was just like if he was gonna ask questions, we were gonna try to answer them honestly, and we did. And I don't know how much effect we had on that specifically, but he did thank us both for being honest when we asked questions after the fact. So, and he seems much happier now. He doesn't need Mormonism, but the book is crazy. Jake, will you cover any Islam-related movies on Quran Reloaded, like that movie about the anti-ISIS journalist in Syria? I would love to. All atheists are communists. Dearest Jakey, what's your opinion on anarchism and Marxism? Those are kind of one and the same, so let's go for it. Well, not really one and the same, but any form of anarchism is stupid. And I'll tell you why. Because it banks on this idea that all human beings are virtuous. And we're not. We're clearly not. We suck. That's why I also think that we should be, freedom for the sake of freedom is not a good thing if the freedom that we are allowed can easily negatively impact someone else's freedom. For instance, guns. Now, again, I don't think all guns should be taken, but I do think that the killing potential of the guns we are allowed is too great. Killing potential being like amount of rounds you can fire at, in one magazine load, and the rate of fire in which you can do that. It takes the, if I want to kill someone with a handgun that's a revolver, I actually have to hit, probably more than once, unless I just, land a really good shot. But it's just things like that. Like I feel like we should be limited in some ways, but not totally. Hey, I'm late to the stream. Are you guys going to get to the bonus features? Yeah, we are going to get to the bonus features. This weekend, and part of the reason Hugo isn't here today is Hugo and his girlfriend are celebrating, God, is it their 5th anniversary? If it's not their 5th, it's their 4th or 6th. It's somewhere around there. I think it's their 5th. So they've been together just for all the time. I've almost since we started the show. which is fantastic. I'm really happy for both of them. Both of them play in the D&D game. He and his girlfriend are very cool people. And well, cool is a strong word for Hugo. He's not cool. He's just fun to be around. Love him to death. But yes, we are getting to that. Probably next week we'll record that and put it up for just patrons. So if you want to get that, hit it up. As far as the anarchism, so basically anarchism lets you just do whatever the fuck you want, and I think that's wrong. Now, things like drugs, I think, should be legal, but depending on the severity of those drugs, like the severity being how much do they affect the human body at a time. Like, I think weed is pretty benign. It's on par with alcohol. Anything that's about alcohol, since we allow alcohol, which I mean, I like alcohol just fine, so it's fine. It's destructive. It's more destructive than weed, but it's not like, I don't know. It's so culturally ingrained that it's just like that. You can't ban all alcohol, but you can ban certain kinds. Like moonshine isn't allowed. We can't sell, straight alcohol. 151, I believe, is the highest proof you can go. So, yeah, it's just shit like that. As far as communism, I don't like straight communism either. I like anything that hinges on morality, such as healthcare, housing, food, water, stuff like that. Have you ever watched a cringy Canadian Christian show, Circle Square? I think it would make a good... I have never watched that, but link that to me somewhere, and I'll write it down right now. Circle Square. Hugo might have heard of it. Circle Square. Boop. Anything that morality or ethics should be forward, like anything that ethics should be on the top of the list or very near the top, that should be socialized. And then you can easily offer private options for that. So healthcare, but you can also, like, I don't think most plastic surgery, like elective plastic surgery, like getting your tits done or getting a cock implant or whatever, should be allowed. But I mean, I do think if trans people want to get transitioned, that's not cosmetic, that's serious. They're cutting their dick out, or they're turning their vagina inside out. That's not just like for looks, you know what I mean? Obviously they'd have to be reviewed by a psych board and stuff, and how people who want to transition are usually done. I think that should be fine. But like if you want to get collagen in your lips and shit, unless you're getting you had a bear attack and you were mauled or something. But private options for other stuff too. Like if you want a family doctor and you want to pay a little extra for a private option, or maybe the private option is cheaper. I don't know. As long as they hold up the same standards, that's fine. But having an option for socialized medicine specifically, I think, is super important. Anything that's ethics, but like communism implies like socialized and public restaurants and public car that's stupid. That doesn't make any sense. So there's certain fields in which we should have socialism embedded in, because it just makes everybody have this sort of like baseline standard of living, baseline. And also what it does is those two things. Because you also allow a private option. That's very important. It keeps both honest. Because if the government is slipping, we're all just going to go to private, right? Or a lot of us are going to go to private, and it's just, and that's fine. You get your private option still, and then, we get baseline health care after well, so that's fine with me. But also, it keeps us from getting to where we are, where, like, literally, if I get sick, like cancer, I lose the house. I lose everything. I got nothing, and I do okay. Like, for now, I don't know, like, but right now, like, I do better than I would if I was still working at restaurants, right? Like, I'm not rich or anything. I would like to be, but it's fine. I'm not Kill Akeem star, but I don't know. I just think ethics need to be taken into account when we do this kind of shit. What link are we looking for? Okay, now I'm trying to read again. Keep in mind, I can't get to everybody. I'm trying trying my best. Discord's open, so everyone wants a Discord link. Let me get you a Discord link. Let me see here. Invites. General Hugo and Jake invite. Boop. Stalin donated $1. Communism is great. Nice. Yeah, I don't think straight communism is great at all. I don't think a straight version of anything is great. I have no idea why it's either capitalism or socialism or communism. Like, that's so stupid. It doesn't make any sense that those are the only things that we can do. We can think of more than one thing at a time. We're not. I don't know. Anyway, there's a link to the thing. If you would like to, fuck's sake, man. Hugo hates straight people. That's true. He hates them. You're on the toilet right now. That must be a poo-poo. Okay, Jake, will you put your head in a hat and shout at Hugo when you were reviewing the Book of Mormon? You gotta believe that's a bit I've wanted to do since I got my hands on the Book of Mormon. So yeah, I am considering that for sure. Ba 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 ba. What else you got? Miss Quinn sending hugs. Thanks for the hugs. Appreciate them. Ba 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 ba. When do you estimate you'll finish the Bible? Let's pull this sumbitch out and look at it for a little bit. Well, I can tell you I want a deep dive. I want a long dick the New Testament. So, I don't know if we're going to, as far as the New Testament's concerned, I don't know if we're going to read every single word, specifically in the Gospels, because, of course, they repeat themselves. But I do want to highlight the differences on a chronological scale. So the first book written in real life, not the first book that shows up in the Bible, and then move forward and show you guys how the myth grows over time. That's important to me, and I think that's what I want. So on the last Bible study, we were on this page, 461. And it's Ezekiel, and that right there, that amount of paper is until we get to Matthew, which is the first book of the New Testament, and I can assure you we're going to skip some of this. For instance, we're going to read probably most of Malachi. Zechariah isn't very interesting, so we're going to skip around. Haggai isn't very interesting. Zephaniah, Habakkuk, Nahum, Micah. Jonah is really, and that's the one I have tons of notes on already. Jonah is really the most interesting book after we get out of Ezekiel to me. So it could be very soon. It just depends on how much. But 2018 is the year of the New Testament. So I want to get an autograph tract for my autograph collection. There's two ways to get the autograph tract. The autograph tract is for $5 patrons, and we actually autograph them, like actually write on each one of them. We send out about 100 a month right now, but it could be more coming up. Also, $10 is kind of our silver tier, and then $15 is our gold tier. And so we have like business cards and pins and buttons and stickers for the silver. And for the gold tier, which is $15, we send crazy shit. Like we sent Harold Penisman squirt guns to our patrons last month, and we've sent condoms and all sorts of crazy shit. We're thinking about, I don't know, I'm considering changing that to a strictly content based system due to overhead, and because I don't know if you guys actually want stuff in your house from us, but I would always keep the chick tracks for everyone over $5. So what happened to your $1,000 reward tier? Right, Patreon deletes. I don't know if deletes is the correct. It's $1,500. Our last $500 goal was we don't have to take breaks, and that's when we went full time. Is when you guys got us to 500. We're actually at 1414 of 1500 for the Harold Penisman show, which my girlfriend is an artist for. She's actually Legend of Phoenix, the mod in the chat, if you guys aren't aware, and she is working on Harold Penisman art, kind of like think paper sort of animation, air quotes style, and we do that. So. I turned off rewards on mine, not going to lie. I love the stuff you sent, just have nowhere to put any of it. Right, that's what I was thinking. Like, maybe we have too much stuff that we're sending out. Although I want to always send the chick tracks. I think that's really fun, because, I mean, that's pretty iconic. But they're not big. So, I don't know. I wanted to talk about that today. But not. I don't know if all the patrons are here. So, but I wanted to do that on a Patreon stream specifically to know like what you guys wanted, because I would, if you guys don't want like the extra stuff, as far as like objects all the time. I think every once in a while we'd have like probably twice a year, probably in June or July and during Christmas, we'd probably send like a real package, like a gift. It'd go from two gifts, probably Christmas in July, like a little small gift, and then Christmas like a bigger gift, TBR based, or Hugo and Jake based, and then we just do extra content for patrons, and probably early content as well. So I don't know. We'll talk about it. I'm missing a lot of this chat. So yeah, do your best to. I'm going to do my best to read, but so we'll see. Right now, I got demonetized on this stream. They said I got demonetized. This stream got demonetized while we were live streaming. That's great. That's great. That's fine though. You guys are doing super chat and stuff, which really helps. So. Of course it gets demonetized while I'm streaming. That's amazing. I'm trying to read. I deactivated slow mode because I'm pretty sure we're not getting trolled anymore, but we'll see. I can always turn it back on. Why do I have to blow you to who do I have to blow to get his TBR specialty? Are we looking for the rainbow one? Is that why you did the rainbows? Or we're gonna do specialties soon. Sarah, again, she's an artist. She is finishing up with another one of our Discord users, Connor, on a really cool one based upon my Jew character. So, Stomo, still a good idea. Okay. If you guys really want it on, I'm trying to make sure that you got demonetized before going live. Nice, good job, PTW. How long have you and Sarah been together? Been together for like shit since almost 6 months now. Almost. Well, it is actually. Is this our 6-month anniversary? That's adorable. It's very close to it. What day was that? The 5th was 6 months, roughly. Do you like death grips? They're okay. Jake, would you ever get Trey Parker and Matt Stone for Mormon Reload? Of course. Of course. Oh, it was going to be the 5th. I remember. It was going to be the 5th. Had delays. It was the 6th. I remember. Balls donated $2. Say blank a bunch since you're demonetized. Let me go look at my actually donation page so I can read that. It's say fuck a bunch since you're demonetized. I already say fuck. Thank you for the donation. I Am Gene gave $2 on Super Chat. Love your content. Thanks. Thank you, I Am Gene. You're the best. And so is Balls. What will you do with the channel once the Bible is finished? We were just talking about that earlier. Going to do the Mormon Reloaded. I mean, Chick Tracks are still going to be a thing. We're still going to do the movie reviews. Going to have a podcast coming up. We might do some live shows with the podcast. And trying to think of what else we have planned. Harold Penisman show. I got some plans for some other shit too, but that's pre-production, so I don't want to mention it until after we can get past the Bible study. Jake, when you can buy an old YouTube mic off of you? I don't have any YouTube mic I don't use right now. YouTube mic. But if we do upgrade, I will definitely consider it. I dream of being in a threesome with you and Stalin. Is this normal? It is if it's the sexy Stalin. Would you ever do Dianetics Reloaded? When are you guys going to have a guest Chick Track on? Was Jeff Holiday supposed to be on in August? We never scheduled anything with Jeff. But Jeff wants to come on, at least last I knew. I mean, we talked the other day on Twitter just a minute. So, yeah. I would like to have Jeff on. Got to get Poisoning the Well on. I know they're in here. Got to get Bunty back on. Chris wanted to come back on, at least last time I talked to him. Thinking about TJ. Oh, there were some other guests I was thinking. Ralph the Movie Maker has considered it. He had been interested last time I talked to him. I would love to get Idos, but isn't he religious? I don't know if he's religious or not. Who else? I was thinking of other people, and I had their names in mind, and I can't remember. We're gonna get someone on that you might not expect, but I'm gonna wait for that. Stalin, I'll take you up on that threesome. Nice. Stupid. Do you have a favorite type of meme? Favorite meme. Anything that says boy in it, some like Spicy Boys, for some reason those always crack me up. They're not like particularly clever. They're just, for some reason, they're just funny. They're just good and fun. Ooh, another one. Fried Casserole donated $10. Thank you so much. Gotta head out for the day, sir. Have a good one. I'll catch you next time I see you live. Appreciate you. Have a good night. Or a good day. I don't know where you're at, but I appreciate you. You're the best. Where's Slaughter Round? How many Patreon dollars per month does it take for a personal or romantic relationship with you? Oh, God. $2,000 a month. I will fuck you. Or you can fuck me out. I'm good with that. That's a recurring call girl is what that is. Yeah, that's basically just having me on whore retainer. Ba-ba-ba-ba-da. I am an expensive hoe. Atheist Airwaves. Jake, say something about Jake Paul. He dabs a lot. Is the rate the same for women? Yeah, I don't know. If you give me $2,000 a month and you want to come live in my basement and sometimes get cuddled, we'll consider that. Yeah. Sarah's going to have to be in on it, but for $2,000 a month, I think she might consider it too. It's lower if you're hot and want to share with me. Man, my life is good if you want to come. Yeah. $2,000 and wow. As in you're making out with me. What the fuck is happening right now? Okay. So, top or bottom spoon? Jake trying to get paid for his girl and basement fetish. We actually have a room that's we call the rape room, because it's my house was built in the 40s and they heated the house initially with a coal heater or coal furnace very briefly. It got changed in the 50s, I believe, after I was talking to the other guy. And now it's just a water-based heating system which has vents all over the house and it's really nice. A grill, yeah. Legend of Phoenix is a grill, and she has her actual face on there. I don't know why. But so we have this room that was just built for coal. That's like it's just a brick room, but we keep the other people kept like painting it and stuff. So we had it's just an empty room that we call the rape room in the house. It's pretty fantastic. Oh, God. I don't have $2,000 a month. How much to just suck up to you and play D&D with your group? I don't know. I know that Dark Beast does live in the area. Maybe we'll consider it at some point. But right now we are in the throes. So I'm not gonna just straight up say no to you because you seem like a nice person, and you don't seem creepy, which is definitely a good thing. So I'm not gonna rule it out. That's actually, you never know. Thoughts on the Young Turks? Okay, and again, sorry I'm missing you guys. It's it's tough. Thoughts on the Young Turks? I do have some. Sometimes they're right. Oftentimes they're right while being wrong, and sometimes they're even just wrong. Blacksmith, I've been practicing memory techniques, and it seems that even though educators usually say otherwise, it feels like good memory is all that's needed to excel at school. Let me read the rest of that. What do you think? All this it depends on the school. Like, are you talking high school? And some college courses for sure. I'll get back to the Young Turks in a second. I wouldn't say it's just memory. It's also synthesis of the information. At least for me, because I did history, which is a social science, it's not just like you could do it with math. Like, I think memory is good for math. Anything that's like, this is a fact. Like, there's no interpretation to be had. This is a fact. Absolutely, memory is like pretty much memorization is kind of how they teach. Spelling, English, although not creative writing, just like the application of the English language as far as sentence structure and stuff. Math, of course, biology, stuff like that. But and I mean biology as far as learning the courses, not applying it in a job. The part where you apply it, that's the synthesis of the information. You actually have to critically think and apply it. So it's not enough to get through high-level school. It's enough to pass exams and stuff. Like, if you're in med school and you can remember this shit and do well on the exams, that's great. But having a good memory doesn't necessarily mean you can apply that when you go into clinicals and stuff. Does that make sense? Or your residency or wherever you're at. So it's not the only skill. That's for sure. And I mean, I know that from both experience and like personal experience as far as learning and from teaching. Sorry, I was reading another comment. So the TYT used to be good, emphasis on use. Yeah, that's kind of like where I'm at. They get really hyperbolic and yelly, and it feels, I don't know, it feels like Fox Newsy to me at times. Like, I get that same vibe where it's probably a little bit of misinformation. Although, again, I still, like, if I had to choose between who's telling me information, Alex Jones or Cenk, what's your favorite Bible quote from Leslie Clausen? We'll get to that in a second. Let me actually look it up. I'm still picking Cenk over Alex Jones, like 100% of the time. And that's not a high bar, but that's my bar for him. So I do like Kyle a lot. I know that he's not a member of that anymore necessarily. He does his own thing. So, yeah, Kyle's probably the best part. He was why I watched in the first place. Farrah Ray donated 5. Thank you so much. Discord link doesn't work. I'm trying to figure out how to fix my issues with patron rewards, and your lady said Discord is the best way to get a hold of y'all. Yes, it is. It's the best way to get a hold of everyone involved in the Discord. Copy and paste the link instead of clicking on it in the chat, if that helps. Try that right there. That I just put in. Just copy and paste it, and it should work. But yeah, I think if that just takes you to the public Discord. But yeah, copy and paste that, because what it's doing is it's taking Hugo and Jake and bolding it and making it a username instead of, and there's also a space. So yeah, copy and paste it and then delete the space in between the slash and the Hugo and Jake. I'm going to get to my favorite Bible quote in a second. Rebecca Nunez, 10 pounds of English pounds. Hi, Jake. Testament by the BBC, an anthology, includes Jonah Story. If you liked Prince of Egypt, you may like it. Varied animation styles and a nice soundtrack, humorous parts in it. Keep being awesome. Thank you so much, Rebecca. You're the best. You're my favorite. Also, England is a place I want to visit. My throat's dry. I'm trying to get my favorite Bible quote. Daniel Rosas just subscribed. Thank you so much. I I can't remember the actual verse, so let me Google it real quick. The emissions one is really good. The emissions of donkeys and shit like that. It's Song of Songs is always my favorite when this question gets asked of me, because it's and I have it right here, and I actually have it bookmarked and I have notes in it and stuff. It's the one where he says her tits look like goats and shit. I just love that. I just love it so much. Let me see. Okay, so it's more like a passage instead of a verse, but how beautiful you are, my darling. This is from Song of Songs, chapter 4, verse 1 through 5-ish. How beautiful you are, my darling. Oh, how beautiful. Your eyes behind your veil are doves. Your hair is like a flock of goats descending from the hills of Gilead. Goats are very sexy hair. Goat hair. Your teeth are like a flock of sheep just shorn, coming up from the washing. Each has its twin, and none of them is alone. You have all your teeth. You're not nasty hoe. Your lips are like a scarlet ribbon. Your mouth is lovely. Your temples behind your veil are like the halves of a pomegranate. Your brain is exposed. It's nice. Your neck is like the Tower of David, built with courses of stone. On it hang 1,000 shields. All of them shields of warriors. I assume that means like the necklace, and it looks like tiny circles of like gold and stuff. But she got a big ass neck. This boy's into necks. That's fine. I get it. Your breasts are like two fawns, like twin fawns of a gazelle that browse among the lilies. He wants to squeeze on baby gazelles while they're in flowers. Yeah, that's my favorite Bible verse. What else you got for me? Talk about the Vagoo. I'm almost there. The Vagoo. I don't know what the Vagoo is, man. Do you guys go on tour? In January, we will be in Houston, but we're not going to be doing anything. And this is our secret, super secret guest. I want to make sure we get the tickets and the hotel and all that shit settled before I announce it on the channel. But we're going to be a guest on a podcast. I don't know what that gift just was. Leslie Clausen donated $5. Pen or pencil when writing a book? I'm an English grad student, and I just started using a pen. It gives me anxiety. P.S. Just increased my Patreon. Hey, thank you so much, Leslie. You did a donation and a Patreon. You didn't have to do that. That's very nice of you. Pen or pencil when writing a book? Computer. I don't like writing by hand. If I had to choose, it would be pencil first, go over it with pen. Because I fuck up a lot, but yeah. Also, pens are slidey and weird, and sometimes the ink fucks up. I've never had a pencil not work. Right? Just gotta sharpen it. Also, mechanical pencils are great. Tour. So we have oh my goodness. Stalin donated $1. GoFundMe.com. Okay, let me go look at this. I don't know what it is. Just a GoFundMe link. No one can click on that. So let me actually go to it. Okay. I want to share this, but I don't want people to give you. Fuck it. Whatever. That is a GoFundMe that this guy set up to live in Jake's basement. Hot man seeking loving atheist. From Joseph Stalin from Switzerland. Oh, God. Anyway. So we have been on... Tour is a strong word. We haven't been on tour. Although we would like to be... If we could get to a point where we could sell out some venues ahead of time and like sell tickets and go on a tour around the Midwest, probably, that would be a lot of fun. I think that'd be good if we did like a month-long tour and hit up, I don't know, every other day we did like a show or something for a little bit, or maybe a couple weeks. I don't know if Hugo would be into a month. Probably a couple weeks is the best I could get out of him. But I personally would just love to do that. I like to travel and stuff, though, and that's not kind of his bag, and I wouldn't want to force him to do that. But he did like the last thing we did on stage, which was a live Chick Tract reading, which killed. We opened for Matt Dillahunty down in Nacogdoches, Texas, which is was at Stephen F. Austin University. It was a lot of fun, and we got to meet a lot of fans, actually, because we announced it briefly on the show a ways back. I don't know if you guys remember that, if you guys have been around since that long or you just missed that episode or whatever. But, God, that must have been two years ago at this point. And, man, it was like 2 Octobers ago. It was so fun. So we're going to be in Houston. We're not doing anything live there, but we are going to be a guest on a podcast. And that'll be announced when we finalize the travel plans. And then that person is going to be a guest on the Chick Tract. And probably I would like to also get them as one of the first guests on our podcast. So, yeah. When is the next Jake Eats? When I get my snack crate, which is going to be... I didn't do the last one because it was just all good food. So I didn't do that. But yeah, on Unpop, I will do my next snack crate. Opinion on YouTube hiring 10,000 manual reviewers. Also, squeeze my moobs, please. Honk. I didn't know they hired 10,000 manual reviewers, but I really hope they change it to where we don't get demonetized up front. It says this, just so you know, this is up for review to be demonetized. It will be reviewed by a human person before that takes place, but I don't think it's going to. Who will eat cat food next? Nah, not me. Jake, can you recommend how you can get a GoFundMe out there and support? I applied for modest needs but didn't qualify. Disabled since childhood and single. I don't do GoFundMes, so I don't know. Sorry. It's up to GoFundMe as far as the support is concerned, you know. Let me see. What would it take to get you guys in Finland? I might be able to arrange an interview with a Finnish Free Thought magazine to get us to Finland. Well, we would need passports first. I'll keep this open. Communist in Space donated 402. Join the Paul's ego globalist cause. Don't change the channel. How dare you? Appreciate the donation, though, asshole. So to get us to Finland, I would have to have we'd have to be paid for our time there, which would depend on how much time it would take. We would have to have all travel costs taken care of, and part of the payment would be offsetting like the food and stuff it would take for us to be there and the time away from the channel, stuff like that. And we'd have to be given a place to stay. We'd probably need a driver. I don't know Finnish. I don't know how, so, you know, it's a lot of logistical problems, but to get me there, that's what it would take. I don't know about Hugo. Also, they could just do something over the internet if they don't want to pay for all that, right? We have a business email. The Force Awakens was the best movie of 2015. Let's see what movies came out in 2015. Movies 2015. I really like The Force Awakens, for the record. Mad Max came out the same year. Inside Out was good. Oh, do I like Mad Max? Age of Ultron came out, but I wouldn't say that's good. The Revenant, Creed, Martian. Wow, that was some good fucking movies that year. Spotlight was good, but it wasn't like... Of course, Jurassic World was garbage. Ant-Man. Ex Machina is on my list. Okay, so my top probably Ex Machina probably Revenant, Ex Machina, Creed, Mad Max, Star Wars: The Force Awakens. But I'm a Star Wars fanboy. I would say the best film, like if I take Star Wars out, it's got to be. I think Mad Max was just a fuck ton of fun, but Ex Machina is just a genuinely good like film as far as films are concerned. So, yeah. Are nations a natural concept or a tool of the powerful to divide us? That's clearly a slanted question. I think you might be memeing a little bit, but still. It's both. The answer is both. It's not necessarily tools. Okay, humans are tribalistic by nature. We drew lines on purpose because some tribes wanted to be separate and have their own borders. And I mean, it happened gradually over time. Specifically through feudalism and stuff in Europe and the Western world and colonialization. And then just fighting over territory because of the economics involved with having that territory and having land, which was very important at the time. So, like, these institutions are here for reasons that don't only... It's not just like the elites want to control us. That kind of stuff. What you're like the borders and stuff. Gerrymandering is the only thing I would consider a tool to divide us. That's the only thing I would consider egregious as far as nations and borders. A byproduct of the border, though, which I disagree with, is nationalism, which is why I try not to say, oh, every Canadian is an asshole. I might make a joke about Canadians. Or every Canadian is too fucking nice. They all ride mooses. Like, that's clearly a joke. But, like, I wouldn't consider an American life more valuable than a Canadian life just based on, you know, their membership of a nation. Does that make sense? So that's my problem with borders, is the inherent nationalism, because we're also fucking tribalistic. Jake, can you try to fix my colostomy bag? It says you did write colostomy bag though. Can you fix my used colostomy bag? Do you actually have a colostomy bag? I knew a girl in high school. I shared classes with this girl's sister, and so the girl I went to school with, her sister had no butthole. She had no exterior anus, and so she had a colostomy bag. Yep. That's my colostomy bag experience. People complaining about perceived feminism in action movies are just sad because the only woman to ever see their penis was their mother. Fact. Ouch! Did you go to Columbine in what year? What the fuck? No, I didn't go to Columbine. Yeah, people that search for feminism in, like, egregious feminism in movies, stop it. It's so fucking tiring, man. It's so tiring. Like the Game Awards, for Best Narrative, I think they had 4 of 5 were female lead characters, and people were bitching. It's like, come on. Just stop. Like, Game of the Year was Zelda. It's a dude. I don't know. It's so silly. There's definitely places where that shit happens. But there's definitely places where that shit doesn't happen and you look for it. And it's just, like, get over it. You're so boring. Your video is lagging. I'm sorry. Don't stand so close to me. I appreciate you. It's now politically correct to own a vagina. Yeah, it is. You and your vaginas. Oh, man. Well, that shit's so boring to me. Again, by the way, Streamlabs, if I don't get to your question, that's the best way to make me definitely read your question. I'm sorry if I don't get to your shit. I'm trying. I'm just a garbage person. Wow. Okay. I love your videos. I love you, Grant PV House. That's gotta. I hope that's your real last name. Thoughts on Hugo? Hugo is a young boy. He's very special to me. He's a good guy. You would be surprised to know that Hugo is not as social as he comes across. He's mentioned it himself, but I don't know if you really understand how not social he really is. And I don't mean like when you walk up to him, he's surly. He's a nice guy all the time. I've never seen Hugo be an asshole, like egregiously in any way that someone didn't deserve. Does that make sense? The one time I saw him like maybe cross the line was when he made some girl cry, but he was in high school and we had, and he was talking about religion. But yeah, Hugo's just a genuinely nice person. He means well all the time, and but he's just not super social. Like I'm very extroverted, and Hugo would be just as happy, staying at home, and that's fine. Like that's not a bad thing. I feel like I made fun of him in the past for it because I kind of want him to break out of his shell, and he has so much. The person he is today, like he's done all the work himself. Like he's worked on his own shit and stuff. But I will gladly take credit for forcing him out of his house and hanging out with me and my friends early on in our relationship. That was loud. That guy needs to get his brakes. I don't know if you can hear that. My neighbor, their brakes are fucking terrible. By the way, Mustard Bus, I do see your thing. I'm going to read it in a second. I have it saved on my thing. Hugo, he's smart, and I don't think he gives himself enough credit for how smart he is. And if he the only thing is he's pessimistic, which makes sense for him to be, due to his he's got a history of anxiety, and he worries a lot, and his parents don't help that. Growing up, it makes a lot of sense the way he feels. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Hugo. He's a good guy, and he deserves your love. So thank you for loving him back. Mustard Buzz, tell me your favorite recipe. I'll make it using Slim Jims. My favorite recipe. Tell you what, go ahead and make some homemade tamales. Because I make tamales, so just make the masa however you want. You can get you can Google it for masa recipe. Slow cook your Slim Jims. Cut them up, like dice them up, take the casing off. Dice that up and just slow cook Slim Jim meat for like 12 hours. Actually, it's already slow cooked, so slow cook it for like 2 hours in a bottle of Coke, which is the secret ingredient. And let me know how your Slim Jim tamales turn the fuck out. That was your favorite part of the stream. Okay. Hey Jake, tell us a story about licking genitals and then instantly regretting it. I have never once licked a genital that I regretted immediately. Yeah. Nope. I'm good. You do an ocular pat down of the situation before you get there, and you make sure that it's not yeasty and gross, and also it shouldn't be smelly anyways. I try not to. Yeah, like I don't like to. I'm a serial monogamist, not a like a hookup guy. I've had very few of those types of experiences in my life because it always, I don't know, didn't like it. And surprisingly, I've had opportunities. A lot of them. Shut up before your fat jokes start coming in. I'm very charming. But no, like I think when you give head, you gotta be sure about it before you commit to it. Because it's kind of rude to be like, hey, I'm gonna lick your vagina a bunch, and then you don't do it. It's fucked up, man. It's fucked up. It's like reverse rape when you get enthusiastic consent and then you revoke it. Someone's gonna misquote me there for some reason. This is America. Everyone has anxiety. I don't get anxiety. I get stressed out sometimes, but not like nearly as much as my peers. So, I'm either just a fucking masochist or I just am really well adjusted. Anyone else here who realized they were an atheist thanks to Jake and Hugo? I'm actually interested. Did I actually accidentally convert you? I never set out to actively convert people, but I find that passively we do because we're kind of more approachable because we try not to be assholes, although sometimes I'm sure we fail. Skeptic conclusion with a nice Rasta Hugo. I started watching you guys November of 2016 and have watched every single video you guys have done by June of 2018. Holy shit. That's awesome. That's really awesome. I'm really happy that you guys like the shit, man. You helped convert me. Wow. Okay. Steam conversion like deconversion. I don't know. Are you on the DMT? No, I'm not. Wow. Do you think atheism will ever die out? And if so, do you think you and Hugo had something to do with it? You think atheism will ever die out? What? I don't know what you mean. I think we're headed towards non-religion. I mean, that's not really a thinking. The statistics show that it is growing, although I think so is Islam. But honestly, I think Islam is growing in that like more people are scared not to be not that. Does that make sense? You can get your head chopped off if you're not Muslim. In some places, you can't get your head chopped off if you're not an atheist. You know what I mean? So I don't know about it going away. That doesn't really make sense to me. Oh, there it is. Boop. You're gonna fuck every single member of Coldplay. Nice. Stephen Fair. In regard to the colostomy bag, here's an awesome camp for kids with conditions like that. I hope you guys might consider giving it a shout out. They do awesome work. Youthrally.org. They have, wait, youthrally.org? Oop, not youthrall. Youthrally.org. Let's see. Got another one. David A.R. White donated 5. Ramifications of Cold War on global terror. What are the ramifications of the Cold War on global terror? Oh, it's just so much. This stream is not long enough for that discussion. Thank you so much for both of your donations, Stephen Fair and David A.R. White, which is great. By the way, here is the link to youthrally.org. It looks cool. Each year, the Youth Rally hosts kids and teens living with conditions of bowel and bladder at a college campus for a 5-night, one-of-a-kind camp experience that promotes independent self-esteem, learning, friendship. That's pretty cool because I gotta imagine growing up with a colostomy bag or bladder issues or just, you know, any issue that deals with your waist. That's gotta be rough, like socially speaking, in high school. Leslie Clausen donated $2. Thank you so much. I think we're the same age, Jake. When will we be actual adults? I hope it never really happens. Being an actual adult just seems, it's just so stressful. Skeptic conclusion, another $5. Thank you so much. Shit 2017. Appreciate you. So the Cold War, specifically Afghanistan, we armed them to fight against the Russians. The Russians were literally slaughtering villages of Afghanistan, or Afghans. I was going to say Afghanistanians. They were slaughtering villages, and so we funded a counter war, but we had to do it through, we had to like buy guns from Israel and send them to Muslim countries, which sounds like something they wouldn't do, but they did it. And like AK-47, a lot of the weapons they have now are from this, and or did have. I don't know how many they have now, but when it started, they were very clearly still had the weapons that we gave them. But I mean, it's been another 16, 17 years since that. So yeah, we gave them all these things, had them fight, and then their country's torn to fucking shreds, and we ghost on them and refuse to help. And so a lot of those people see it as, because I mean, why would the average Afghan freedom fighter understand that the U.S. helped them, right? And on top of that, we leave their country super destabilized. So yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense that it ended up they didn't like us, and because we weren't willing. Again, we try to do this thing with nation building where first we attack them and build nations instead of just building nations alongside peaceful, low-class countries. Like, if we want a nation build, the way to do it is to already be friends, not fucking invade their country and then try to do it. It doesn't make any sense. So it's just an all-around bad sort of situation, and yeah, the Cold War had a lot to do with it, for sure. Let me see what else you guys got. CIA killed I don't know what you guys are talking about. The worst thing a human can endure is high school. It's scientifically the worst thing about people possible in all one place. I loved high school. I know a lot of people had bad experiences in high school. I mean, I had my share of bad experience. I think we all do. It's a social thing, and we all, I don't know, it could be rough. Kids are mean. And if you're not perfect in every single way, they're going to find something. But I don't know, it's kind of where I decided that, like, and maybe this happens to people later in life, but at a certain point, I think it was like junior year, I decided that, like, I'm just going to be the person I am when, like, they're not around. And I guess that person is likable. In small doses or something. I don't know. I tried to be honest and stopped being this person that, I don't know. I think high schoolers try to camouflage themselves too much, and I think that's the problem. But yeah. It's fine if they're perfect like me. Yeah, you're not. I'm not perfect. Not even close. Stephen Fair, $5. You are right on how rough it is to grow up with that stuff. I went to camp and now volunteer for them. Is maybe a better person. I'm happy for you. That's good. I did some stuff with the Special Olympics when I was in high school, but not a lot of stuff. I want to get into coaching. I actually was talking about it, last week with Sarah. But I want to do basketball, and it's already basketball season, so I can't do it. But I'm thinking about asking, because I know the athletic director and the head football coach. The head football coach was actually my student teacher. When I was a student teacher, he was my guide, basically. Anyways, I have links into the athletics into my old high school, which is I don't know, like a half-hour drive away, and I would really like to do some basketball there, but I don't want to do like little kids basketball. I was really hoping I could do like 7th, 8th grade, freshman, sophomore, something like that. I wouldn't be able to do the seniors because we have a long-term basketball coach that does that, but the other ones have turnover, so I would love to be a basketball coach. I know a lot about it, and I play all the time on the PlayStation because my ankle's broke, but I would love to get back into a gym and shoot a basketball and have an excuse to teach other people this really cool game that I love. Jake, I love your face. I love your face, Earthquaker 1000. Thoughts on those borderline pedophilic YouTube videos with millions of views? Borderline pedophilic? Those are straight up pedophilic. I'm glad they're getting taken down. Fuck them. Really glad they're getting taken down. Again, YouTubers have known about this shit since like 2014, 15. We've been bitching about this forever. And, of course, it happens again. And it really hit us hard. So, honestly, every time you guys make a donation, like specifically today and on Patreon, moving forward, it helps us so fucking much. It's crazy. Jake, how to be happy? I am depressed as fuck. See, the thing is, if you have depression, the way to be happy is to go to the doctor and get treated, because I can't help you there. If you're just unhappy today, or it's been like a week and you're just feeling like shit, but you don't have depression, stay busy. This goes for people with depression too, but it's kind of harder if you have chemical, like actual clinical depression. But staying busy when you get bounced with depression, keeping your mind busy, because your mind, when you're depressed, not when you have depression, when you're depressed, I can't make that more, I want to make sure there's a very clear delineation between clinical depression and being depressed. Your mind dwells, and I know that it does that when you have depression too, but sometimes depression is just like a general, you don't fucking care about anything. It doesn't have to be sad. It's just, not anything really is worth anything. Sort of the value of things flies out the window. So I can't really help you there unless you have to go to the doctor. And I strongly suggest you do go to the doctor because it's a treatable thing. As far as just being depressed, yeah, stay busy. If you have friends, specifically good friends, try talking to people. I don't know, being honest and opening up. People bottle too much shit up. I think that might be part of my well-adjusted life. I don't usually keep stuff in a lot. I don't like to go to bed angry and like just talk to me usually, unless it doesn't feel like it's going to be productive. But even then, sometimes it works. And I'm not good. I don't yell a lot. Like I don't argue a ton. I more debate. I think that's, and I try not to do it emotionally. And sometimes that's frustrating for people, and I get it. But I can't. I try not to get worked up about shit, and I try to stay as straight and narrow as I can because it's more productive. And I found that my life has benefited from me taking a measured approach. So, Grant Peavy House. Yes, that's my real last name. Wow, it genuinely Peavy House is your last name. And thanks, you helped me through a tough time. I'm like Hugo. I was raised religious. Keep helping people. Thank you so much, Grant. That's an amazing last name. Will you marry me? Will you marry me so I can be Mr. Grant Peavy House or Mr. Jake Peavy House? But you know, your wife. That's a great last name. But someone asked, I don't remember where it was. It was up there. We are both in Michigan now. We did a whole video on it. Have you not seen that video? It's hilarious. I kissed Hugo on the cheek. Hold on. Now I gotta find it. Bible Reloaded Reunited, I think. Not moving on up. Let me look through my videos. Now I have to find it for you. That's really what it is for me now. I just have to find that video for you. I think it was a chick track because we wanted to make sure that people that not just the Bible study people would watch it. Let me see. It would have been September. It would have been right around this time. June, July, August. It's got to be close. Do we do Torchbearer? Okay, so here I'm separate. It's got to be Jack Chick's final tract. It's got to be this one. It is this one. Okay. We did a skit at the beginning. I can't believe you don't remember it. Okay, here it is. Wait, is that it? No. No, it's not it. It's this one. I was going to send you to my page where I look at that instead of the public one. There, watch that. This argument is so irrelevant. I don't know what argument you guys talk about. Say hi to Randy. He's on my headset being shit on PS4. Nice. Jake, acknowledge that we live in the same state. Okay. Did I answer that question? Mustard Bus. I missed your question. Almost. $5. Thank you so much, Mustard Bus. You the best. Coca-Cola or cocaine? That seems important. I'll get on it and send you the videos so you can judge me and my terrible channel. Tell me I'm pretty. You're very pretty. Coca-Cola, not cocaine. I would never endorse the use of an illicit drug. Seriously, though, Coca-Cola. Also, that's going to be awful with Slim Jim. That's just going to be fucking terrible. Let me see what's going on here. Why are you keeping me awake? Didn't sleep last night, and you keep me awake now. I'm sorry, Niles Dowguilo. But that's just the way it is now. That's the way it has to be. You and we're bonded now. We're linked. That's the way it's gonna stay forever. Forever. I've been a liberal hold on. I've been a liberal all my life. This is from Bounced on My Boys. I've been a liberal all my life, but the way the left treats the Muslim terrorism issue and SJW shit, I feel like I have far more in common with the right. How do you feel about this? I feel like you're wrong. I feel like the far left you're right about, but I'm left. I'm super fucking far left, and I disagree with them. So you agree with me, meaning you agree with Kyle Kulinski, who's one of the major founders of the Justice Democrats, which is the only thing that should matter because they're the people that are running. The SJWs aren't running. I have no idea. You don't have more in common with the right. You just don't. You don't. That's vote. If you vote for the right and you are normally a liberal, you're voting against your best interest, and that's stupid. That's the type of thought right there. That's the type of propaganda that you've listened to from people like, I don't know, Sargon was really bad about this during the election, but in which he doesn't participate in, so whatever. But just people that are like, oh, Hillary and Donald are just as bad. No, they're not just as bad as each other. They're just not. Like, even if she would have done everything publicly that he's done, like with all the bullshit, politically, like speaking, like the actual stuff that's passing through, that wouldn't happen, and that's still better because it's bad for everybody. So no, conservatism doesn't work. Trickle down doesn't work. You don't have more in common with conservatives. You have more in common on that issue with outspoken conservatives than you do with outspoken left. That's really it. The far left, I don't know anyone in real life that is that far left, and I know some very far. I know people that think socialism should be a thing, like across the board. I disagree with that, but I don't know anyone that thinks that Muslims should not be dealt with when they are terroristic. It's just not a thing. I don't know. So, Hillary would have a worse effect on the Democrat Party going forward. She's basically a neocon. Okay, I have two thoughts on this. If we can make it, and I mean make it as far as like we don't lose more justices on the Supreme Court. I say we as in people that are reasonable, not necessarily. I'm not a Democrat, by the way. I really don't like a lot of Democrats. I'm going to vote Justice Democrat and Green in my local elections when I can. And my statewide elections, because I agree more with Justice Democrats than I do with Democrats, because they are neocons usually. But I don't know. Bernie would have been the best, obviously. I mean, that's pretty obvious. I think she would have hurt the Democrat Party as far as re-election, but Donald Trump's not running next time, so I don't know. But Donald Trump running this time, I'm hoping this emblazons people to fucking actually vote and like bite a bullet and vote for someone that's not their guy, as long as it's, you know, like if Bernie lost, let's say, I know that this is up for debate and a lot of people get really butthurt about it, but let's say Bernie lost the primary. He's not allowed. He's just not allowed to run the general. That's okay. Okay, he lost. You know, even though a lot of us wanted Bernie, we didn't get him. We just didn't get him. So why are we jumping from the next best for me thing, the next best person for me, to someone that's not even close to good for you, someone that goes against all your values? What? That doesn't make any sense. Pick the next best. Like, and honestly, if you want to vote all blue ticket, and which I disagree with usually, I vote a lot of green, and sometimes I vote libertarian depending on where it is, specifically for stuff like prisons and shit or drug use. Anyone that's in charge of, like, I vote libertarian. But I think libertarianism in general is stupid, so it depends on very closely where they're placed if I vote for them. But the general election has two choices always. It's just how the Electoral College works. It's how it's split. So vote for closest to your interest. That's how it's always been. You're never going to have a perfect candidate. And I know, and I think people got a sour taste because Bernie sounded perfect. He sounded like, wow, this is what we've been waiting for. And Donald Trump is so not. But you got so pissed off, you're like, let's punish the Democratic Party. That sounds nice in practice, but instead you're punishing us. Hillary's fine. Hillary's doing just fine, I promise you. So, yeah, I disagree. I disagree with, again, emotional voting is stupid to me. It doesn't make sense. Insect Facet, $5. Thank you very much. You're the best. I think the very concept of religious faith versus any specific religion is detrimental to modern humanity. Why am I wrong? The concept of... Detrimental to what degree, though? Like, is it just detrimental that if people believe that if you ask the universe for things, you will get them? Or asking the universe for things, you will definitely get them, don't try to get the things. Like that, it's very different. So I don't think the concept of religious faith in its benign forms, like sometimes it just like it makes them feel not alone in this very scary world sometimes. That's okay. I find that to be fine. If someone's like, you know what, I'm going to work hard because that's what I was always taught to do. I'm going to, I'm going to try for things. I'm not going to let my faith do the driving, right? But it also makes me feel nice that like I believe in Jesus and I think he loves me and I'm going to go to a better place when I die. I find that so benign. It doesn't, as long as it doesn't inform your politics or how you treat other people, unless it's for a positive. Like, if you are a better person to other people because of Jesus Christ, fuck it. Be that person. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I do think that a certain degree of religious faith is, I agree with you. So it just depends on the degree to which you are religious. Hey, Jake, you massively cute in those specs. Hey, thanks. Nice. Long time watching, but I haven't ever messaged, but I've always wondered, why don't you wear glasses more? I don't wear glasses more because they are annoying, and Darwin, I don't know if you can tell, right here, that's broken. He actually chewed on it once, and so it hurts me over time. But I can't see without them. Also, they're the wrong prescription. I needed to get new glasses, but I was waiting until after the holidays because I wanted to get cool stuff. Hugo is now small. Yeah, he's small. I'm also losing weight, but it's a slower pace. I can't do as much as I wanted to. And also, I was beating him before I moved. But then I was effectively homeless for like almost 3 months, and I had to kind of skid by on like shitty food for a little bit. So, not making an excuse. He did a fantastic job, for the record. Nothing taken away from Hugo. He did a great job, and not really a full excuse on me, because I'm sure there are things I could have done. But genuinely, my ankle is so torn up from high school years. I have a big scar around my entire ankle, and my Achilles is really weak, and when I run, it hurts a lot. So it's a more of a slow go for me, but I am still on the right track. But he beat me this year, which means sometime during this holiday season, I have to eat a fuck ton of Hot Pockets. What's the whole Brexit shitstorm being reported like in America? I heard that, was Brexit canceled? It's not being reported on in America a ton. I get my news from Twitter usually, so I can codify it properly based on disparate reports and stuff. Twitter seems to have the most honest people doing journalism, which is odd, but that's the case. I disagreed with Brexit because when people were showing me numbers and it looks like it'd be bad specifically for the NHS, which I am for. So, Jesse Defoe. Hey, Papa, have you ever failed at supplying a female with clitoral stimulation? I assume this means orgasms and not just clitoral stimulation, because you can do that without. I'm just throwing that out there. I feel like I'm very enthusiastic in bed, and I try my best. How do I do, Sarah? How am I in the sack? Jake, are you the sexy one? That's up to you. I'm definitely the more cuddly one. I will cuddle you better, and I'll give more. I do try my best. What the fuck are you, come on. How's that a cop-out answer? I'll leave it to the imagination. Okay, well, my head game is on fleek. I'm throwing that out there. Throwing it out there. If you're not going to say it, I will. We need a Jake's Face t-shirt with I try my best above him. And I could be going like this. I need super chats. I don't want super chats. Well, I do. How many? Okay, how much through Streamlabs or Super Chat does Sarah need to answer questions about our sex life, which is really fucking embarrassing? God, what the fuck is happening here? Are there any atheist YouTubers you want to meet, like in person? I'd love to hang out with Logic. He's just a super fun guy. I don't know if you guys get a lot of. I don't know if you're. I know he does like a Patreon hangout thing that I am not a part of. But if you've ever had the opportunity to talk to him like on a personal level, he's a really fun guy. Do a drunk. Why is it embarrassing? Now well, it's not embarrassing. It's not like, okay, embarrassing in that like my mom watches this show and like not all the time, but sometimes enough to make it like weird. Stephen Damien donated 10. Hey, thanks for answering my political question. Been watching you guys for a while now. You're great and your content is great. Sending love from Metro Detroit. Thank you, Stephen. Do we have a lot of Detroiters, or I guess like just Michigan people here in general? Because we should do a live event for all the Michigan fans or Ohio, Midwest fans that want to make the drive. Because it's not really that bad to drive around in the Midwest. It's a nice drive, and usually it's not a super long one, like 4 hours at the most. I don't think we have many embarrassing stories other than the wall. Okay. All right. What's the story of the wall? You're in Detroit. Yes, please do. It looks like a few of you are. Holy shit. I tried it up the bum once, but got poo on it. Jake, man. Did you? Oh. Jake, I tried it up the bum once, but I got poo on it. Jake, man. I thought you were saying that you got it up the bum once. No, I actually have never been pegged. That's not a thing I'm into. The wall. I'll just tell you what the wall's about. Fuck it. I don't care. The velocity at which it sometimes comes out is severe, and so walls are at risk. The Proximate Galaxy. Hey, Jake, I love you guys. Even after I stopped watching Atheist YouTube in general, I still come back to you guys. Thanks for not being complete assholes like TJ. Is TJ a huge asshole? He's a nice person in real life. I don't watch a ton of YouTube in general, so I don't know what his content's been like recently. I know that he's been doing more of a... He's got like a studio set instead of the old style, which is fine. He's got like a top hat and shit. I don't know. I don't watch the DP very often either. It's kind of too long for me. But I don't know about is he being a complete asshole? I don't know. Atheist YouTube in general turned into SJW fuck you YouTube instead of like Atheist YouTube, which is fine. I mean, we would have made a lot more money if we would have jumped on that bandwagon too. But I like not being that. I think there's value in not being the thing. You guys are the only ones that don't trigger SJW. Well, we trigger a lot of people. My comments are filled with triggered people all the time that are just always mad that we hit on their thing. Like the Jew video the other day, someone was mad that I dressed up like a Hasidic Jew and they called it akin to blackface, which I made a joke about at the end of the video. I don't know if you saw it. Like, I don't know. The point is that like Jack Chick was being, anti-Semitic, and that was the joke. I don't know. They're trying to address the current issue. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that SJWs are the current issue. I would say it's the alt-right. And I would say it's the political climate. But, again, I'm still not talking about that. You know what I'm saying? I'd like not being that. Now, because it is Hugo and Jake now instead of just TBR, we will be talking about stuff like this. But it's just so tiring. Like, SJWs... and the far, far left, because I'm just going to call them far, far left instead of SJWs. They're not in charge of anything. No one's voting for those people. No one's voting for them enough to make them in power. So it's just not an issue to me. It's literally just a debate. Christians are in power still. Christians are currently in power and heavily influencing the White House decisions. The Supreme Court leans Christian. I don't know. It's just... I find religion, for atheists, the counter-apologetics is kind of like a stale subject. We all kind of get it. But that's not kind of what we're about. I just kind of I like the historical perspective of the show. I like it that it's comedy. I like that it's accessible to also religious people. And I like making people realize that atheists aren't cunts all the time. And when you just are all about SJWs all the fucking time, it's so boring. It's so fucking boring. And again, this is not a knock on most of the people that do that content. But literally when every day it's SJW thinks they're SJW, and it's like, is this really what you're interested in? Is that genuinely what you're interested in? Or is it for the views? Because I could have made a lot more money and been, had a bigger house or something if I were to talk about that shit. But I feel like it's just selling out to, I don't know. It's just, but SJWs are cunts. I will agree that a lot of SJWs are cunts. Yes, I agree. I mean, it's not, that's why it's like so not debatable. It's like, yeah, people that think that like men are somehow like original sin. Yeah, no, I disagree with that. I also disagree with people that think men are the lower class, because that's also not the case. But I do agree with people that are like, hey, women and men both have issues. Men do experience sexism, although on a much smaller scale, specifically when it comes to like being alone with children. Regardless of your intent with them, sometimes it's always implied that you want to touch kids. Like our predatory is an implied predatory deep predisposition, which I disagree with. But it might be the precedent for that, because like, I mean, I'm my age, I'm not older, and it seems like a lot of the older people, like, sexual harassment's a thing they dealt with more than my generation did. Like, I didn't experience that growing up. Like, we didn't sexually harass our classmates a ton. Like, it wasn't, like, we would have kicked the shit out of someone who sexually assaulted one of our classmates. You know what I mean? Like, so, I think it's a generational thing, and part of where you live. Like, I don't live on the coast, I live in, like, centrist purple state, usually Michigan. So maybe it's just my growing up, but I don't find it to be an issue like as much. Men are fickle. I mean, whatever. See, this is why I don't like talking about it, because you guys are just fucking, you go wild. It doesn't make sense to me. Hey Jake, is your penis large enough to reach your anus and does it permit oneself to anally enter them? No, it's not. SJWs have invaded Hollywood and television. YouTube is the last fading bastion of freedom. You're the problem. You are the problem. SJWs. God, that's so fucking. I'm laughing at you. I hope God. What do you think happened to the Armored Skeptic? I used to love his content, but now I don't watch him at all anymore. I don't watch his content either. I don't know. He definitely went on to this SJW thing, which I believe that Greg found it important to talk about. I find him to be wrong a lot on some stuff, but I think Logic took care of that when he called him out. I tend to tilt towards Logic's style of argument. Like, he's very measured, like I am. He's much better at codifying his thoughts, though, than I am. I think Logic does a really good job of putting his very complex thoughts into more simple verbiage, whereas I sort of meander until I get to the point. But yeah, I mean, I never really watched a lot of my peers a ton anyway, so I can't really tell you. He's certainly less talkative to our peer group, though. Jake, I bought RimWorld and my character won't stop eating people. What do I do? Embrace the cannibalism. That was almost the Imperial March for a second. Been watching a lot of Star Wars recently. I love you too, William McDonald. Do you know what Logic looks like under the cowl? I do. Jake Daddy, is your penis acceptably large? It's just a normal dick. There's nothing to write home about my dick. What do I think of Sargon? I like Sargon the person. I don't like Sargon the personality. Does that make sense? In like when we talk, and he seems like a nice enough guy. I think he's up his own ass a little bit, but I think that happens when you get popular so quick. But he's right about a lot of stuff. But he's also wrong about a lot of stuff. So I disagree with him politically very often. He's basically, in my opinion, he's basically right about like a single subject. Well, two subjects. I think atheism, he's correct on being an atheist. I would obviously agree with that opinion. And I also agree that allowing the far left to determine what is fair game as far as speech is concerned, or like man spread, stuff like that, like the free bleed, the man spread, that kind of deep echelon, sort of edge shit. I agree with him on that stuff, but I don't agree about the severity of that kind of stuff. So, Gary the Hypocritical Skeptic, $5. Thank you very much. You're the best. You mentioned you'd take a look at it on Twitter. Any thoughts on the changes to Patreon's charging methods? A lot of people are upset about it. I talked about this early on, and I'll talk about it again. Give me 1 second. Because David A.R. White donated $5 again. The PC leftist socialist feminist Christian just gave you money and love. Funny is funny. Keep it. The PC leftist socialist feminist Christian. Okay, well, see, there you go. And I think there's space for those people to be here in the conversation, for the record. I like the idea, like, Lacey Green is a really good example of someone that, like, she gets it. I think she gets it. And she's kind of with me on a lot of subjects. I disagree with her here and there, but, I mean, I think she just gets it, and I appreciate that about her. She's able to kind of separate the dogma of what her fans expected, and she kind of went for her own thing and kind of her own opinions, and I can get behind that. I always kind of liked her anyway, though. I don't watch a lot of YouTubers, but anytime I kind of caught some of her content, it came across to me as well thought out and not sensationalist. That some YouTubers can just be like, check out this, and like. She could easily have turned her sex talk thing into just look at my titties, the show, and she didn't, at least for the most part. And I don't know, I appreciate that. So the Patreon charging methods, it's like 2.3% plus 35 cents for every donation. And if you're donating to just me, and I donate to some people, it seems like if the 30 cents, or for a $10 donation, it's about 60 cents extra charge. What this charge does is it takes our cut from about 83% to 95%. And that's huge. That's huge. And like, I feel like the cost is offset by you guys. That's fantastic. I think if you guys could choose to offset it, that'd be good. The only people this genuinely hurts, and I disagree with, and me and my group of peers, my fellow YouTubers, are currently talking to Patreon about this. It hurts people who give multiple small donations. It charges them the 35 cents plus the extra 3 cents on the percentage. So it's about 38 cents for a $1 donation. Right now, at least from what they've shown us, for each donation. So if you donate to 10 YouTubers, each $1, it'll cost 38 cents each. So it'll be $3.80 extra that you weren't planning on spending. Well, I agree that's not a ton of money, but it but it adds up, and I get it. Especially if you're someone that budgets or is on a low budget. Although, honestly, if 30 cents is your difference here, please don't donate to me. You're too close to the red line for me to justify asking you for any sort of help. I would much prefer answering to you guys through Patreon and be fan-funded mostly than to count on YouTube, obviously. But it helps the creators a ton. And so I am behind it, but I am specifically looking for Patreon to change it to, if you give whatever your total amount is, use that percentage, and then a one-time 35 cent thing to just cover everybody. And then I'll take 90% instead of 95 or something like that. I think that's fine. But still, it makes Patreon more stable, which makes my job more stable, which makes your content more stable, which means your money isn't being wasted. And that's what I like. I trust Patreon. I wish they would have done this with a little bit more time. I think if they would have asked, but I think they're trying to get in before the new year. Clearly, they're trying to get in before the new year for tax reasons. But I can tell you for a fact that this business model makes YouTube look like thieves. So I fully support you still donating to the Patreon, and I get it if you have to adjust your patronage. I see some people did, instead of, and this is partially you get swag too, some people have taken their donations from 4 $1 donations to 1 $5 donation for our channel, which is great. And so that's just, I can't stress enough how good this is for creators and for Patreon, and I realize that you're incurring 30 cents of the debt here and there, depending on the size of your donation. And I can't, we appreciate you for it a ton. And, I get it. If that's the big difference to you, then, I mean, it's your money. I can't tell you what to do with it, but I can tell you that this is more of your donation is actually a donation. Does that make sense? And it's genuinely helpful. We could not do this without you. We just objectively, without Patreon, we can't do this job. And now we get more of the cut from Patreon. It only helps the show do better. It helps us, keep the course. And it helps us have our dream jobs. And I honestly can't thank you enough. So, yeah, it's a good thing that was poorly handled. And Patreon is not YouTube. I know there's sort of a relationship they both have with each other, but it's just they're not the same thing. And Patreon is worlds better. I mentioned this earlier before, but I'll mention it one more time. I've been able to get into contact with Jack Conti, who is, the founder of Patreon, more than once. We've had email discussions. So, I mean, they're very accessible. And I know that they're listening to us. And whether or not that changes right away is one thing. But I guarantee if enough people are upset, something will come out that makes it better for everybody. Balls donated $2. How much revenue do you get from each YouTube Red view? It's more of a cut than we get from. And by the way, thank you Jesse Defoe for the $2 super chat. It's more of a cut than we get from just a regular view. It takes it out of whatever you pay for your YouTube Red. I think, what is it, $15? We have YouTube Red on this, but Hugo technically pays for it. It bills to him, but we both pay for it. It takes a cut out of that and gives it to us. So instead of a micro transaction, like a percentage of a cent, we get a few cents per view. So it adds up over time. Our YouTube Red is kind of keeping our ads viable, honestly. So it does help, but it's not as I don't think we make $1 off of you in a month. Does that make sense? Depending on how many videos you watch, because it splits it up based on videos you watch. So, but it is very helpful, and I think it's a good service. Honestly, I use YouTube Red a lot. So, I just don't like. I don't know. I just don't like splitting with YouTube so much. I feel like I missed somebody. I am Gene. TBR gave me the tools to rationally question my belief. I'm happy for that. That was kind of the thesis statement of the show, was for you to be able to ask your own questions. We would present it and make fun of it and be comedy, but also with the lens that people actually believe this stuff. And understanding that people hold it dearly, and not holding punches. And I mean, we're clearly, we don't hold on to the Bible real tight, and we're not super cherished. We don't cherish this thing at all. Really, I don't really care about this book. It means nothing to me except for it's interesting. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that helped. Erica, $5. Thank you so much. You the best. Also, nice hair. Are you optimistic about the future of America? Also, thank you all so much for making content. You have such a positive impact. I'm glad that I have a positive impact on you. That makes me feel good. I am optimistic about the future of America based on the next election. So we'll see. I'm not gonna lie to you. I genuinely looked up how, what the process is to move to Canada, because we live in Michigan, so we're right across the border from Canada. If this goes much longer, where people I still don't really have easy access to healthcare, and I do better than I did before. like, at one point I got to think about myself and my fam, you know? So, but I genuinely want to work. I'm thinking about public office at some point. I'm not quite old enough. I mean, I'm almost 30, but about 35 is when you can really like get into representative positions. And that's what I'm looking for. Gary the Hypocrite donated $5. I didn't even check for Streamlabs before sending the super chat. Here's the money for my... You don't have to... Okay, well, I appreciate it. If we split the super chat with YouTube, but it is sometimes easier for people, so it's an option. We keep all of the donations minus, depending on how you send it, could be a small credit card fee or a PayPal fee. We keep that on Streamlabs, almost 100% of it. So yes, I very much appreciate it. I feel like I missed another question, but I could be wrong. Are we gonna become Canadians? People keep asking about the cooking show. I need a camera. If you have a camera that you don't use and it does HD, I have a PO box that you can send that shit to. I need to be able to like actually film it. And I don't have anything like this is a webcam, so I can't, like, that's a webcam. Hugo has a camera, but it's his. So, anyway, so I would like to. I think the content is fun. It's just a lot of work. So kind of what I would do is I would sit on those for a while, and then I would do a series of like 10 videos or something, put them all out after they were all edited, and then do it again. It wouldn't be like a normal schedule. Like, we do this as a grind. Like, every week we are recording. Like, I record most days out of the week. I stream a lot now, so trying to pay the bills. Horizontal. What's a DKK? DKK currency is a Danish krone, which is 16 cents. So that's $1.60. Thank you so much for your donation. Oh no, that's actually $3.20. It's 20. Thoughts on unrequited love / the friend zone? That sucks. I think most guys have been there at one point or another. Usually, I really haven't experienced that since high school. Yeah, as far as unrequited, like, I've had breakups where I didn't want to break up, right? But only like one or two. Most of the time, I've been the one to break up, which I didn't want as well. I hate doing that because I don't know, it makes me feel like shit. But it's painful, and it's a thing that is part of the human experience. I think for most dudes, I don't know how often it happens with women, because I feel like women have a little bit. I want to say easier time, not an easier time dating, because their problem is overload of options, and our problem is usually we have to seek it, right? And if you're not willing to seek it, you're not gonna usually get it. So I don't mean get sex, I mean get a relationship. But women are so inundated with fuckboys all the fucking time that because they're always trying to stick their dicks in something that I don't know. It's hard to. I get it. I get what you're saying. It's hard to explain. I think we all kind of get the cultural implication, at least here in the Western world. It's kind of how it is. But honestly, if someone's going to put you in the friend zone and they really don't want a relationship with you, even if you're a nice person and you value their friendship, they might just not be attracted to you, and that's just something you got to get over. Like, I think I find myself to be a reasonably attractive guy. I certainly don't think I'm some sort of Adonis. I mean, I'm not in great shape. I know I can be a little acerbic to people. Like, my personality isn't for everybody. That's fine. I get over it. It's not a big deal. I have a girlfriend now, and she's fantastic, though. So, you know. Actual Patty, I will get to William McDonald in just a second. Actual Patty donated $2. Did you see the Jesus Bro by Brad Jones, and did you like it? I have not personally seen it. Hugo did. He said it was fun. So maybe we'll watch that one time for like a Patreon thing or something. William McDonald, $5. Ever looked up the Christian kids show Joy Junction? It was a popular show that was canceled because the host had ties to child cannibalism. ties to child cannibalism. That sounds fucking awesome. I'm writing that down. Joy Junction? Joy Junction. I have never heard of it, but well, this shit is I'm definitely gonna get into that. Women are great. I'm a shitty person for ghosting. Women's are demons in human. Wow. Okay. Am I super cute? Am I? If a female had a penis, but fuck you. Hey Jake, why do anti-SJW Christians act very unchristian-like? Steven Crowder, Milo, Gavin McKines. Is it McKines or McGinnis? Jesus wouldn't approve of their trigger direct behavior, baiting and pride. Well, it's because they're hypocrites. That's pretty simple. Crowder's a cunt. Jake, you have adorable eyes. Thank you. Jake, are you getting Hugo anything and vice versa? Are you talking about Christmas presents? Yeah. My immediate friends group they're all my D&D peeps. It's Hugo, his girlfriend, my girlfriend, and our friend Alex. And I got them all cool stuff for Christmas, I think. So, looking forward to it. I got Sarah the coolest gift of all. My love. No, I got her more stuff. Reckless Eating. I wouldn't friend zone you ever. Thanks, Reckless Eating. Check out Reckless Eating. They eat recklessly on their YouTube channel. Reckless Eating should be part of our hot fuck at eating thing. What do I got? Jake, should Catalonia be independent? Let's look up information about Catalonia. Catalonia. Oop, I spelt it wrong for a second. Fat fingered it. It says it's autonomous community of Spain. Oh, it's got Barcelona in it. That makes sense. So, let's read about Catalonia. It's the back of the head of Portugal and Spain. If you guys know what Portugal and Spain is, that was gave you like a little bit of a smile, not even a chuckle. So it's Basque country, but there's a really great Basque district in Boise, Idaho. Really, really great food. Okay, I mean, they already have autonomy. I don't know what's the difference. It has no legal weight. I see. And it's not recognized by the Constitution. I mean, if Catalonians think economically that's viable, and Spain thinks that's economically viable, then go for it. Satan donated $1. Satan loves me. Thanks, Satan. Appreciate you. Ooh. I miss poisoning the well. Where was poisoning the well? Did I miss Oh, maybe not. Horizontal again. With the Danish crone. Thoughts on rape/incest porn fantasies? I guess I don't care. Like, if whatever gets you going, man. As long as it's not actual rape or actual incest, because usually incest in that scenario is groomed or forced, which is just the same as rape. If it's simulated rape and incest porn and the actors and actresses involved are willing, I don't care. Jack off to wherever the fuck you want as long as no one's getting hurt. Ethically, that doesn't bother me. I mean, that's not something I'm into, but, go for it. This is a good question. License Plate Jacket Radio, whose name I have read before on at least one Hugo and Jake thing. Dear Jake, how do you feel about secular celebration of Christmas? Also, sidebar, how do you feel about atheists who follow religious traditions but without the religious nature behind it? Catalonia is like Scotland, only it's not filled with drunk domestic abusers. Beautiful. I love Christmas. We're getting a Christmas tree probably this week. I love Christmas just a ton. I think Christmas is not a Christian thing anymore. I mean, it was barely ever a Christian thing, but, you know, they co-opted it. Celebrate Christmas, man. It's fun. It's a good excuse to have family, and it's a good excuse to have good food and give people presents and show appreciation. And I like the music, and I like the sort of the ambiance of Christmas. I think it's good shit, man. As far as atheists who follow religious traditions without the religious nature behind it, I don't know what you mean by that other than Christmas. I wasn't religious, so I don't know what religious traditions would fit into my secular life. With glasses, Jake looks like a male Ryby. I'm not going to take my clothes off. Well, I'm not going to tease. I'm going to take my clothes off for you. Right? Isn't she a spam girl? Scam girl? That's what she calls it. It's like a tease the whole time. I don't know. I haven't watched it. I just know when it came out. Juliana Gligorievic. Jake, you are hot as fuck, boy. I mean, hot. I disagree. I think I'm decent though. I'll give you a decent. Whatever is up to decent on your scale, I will grant you. Jake, have you ever been to Germany? I have never been to Europe in general. I want to go really badly. Again, sorry if I miss your shit. Here's a Streamlabs thing to make sure if you want to just do $1 or something, I'll make sure you can get your shit going. Jake, any tips on grooming the neckbeard? As far as grooming, I take a buzzer to it. It's actually kind of a nice beard. I really like how this looks. I need a haircut though. Like this is long hair, but I kind of like this coif thing going on. I used to hate that, but I don't really have to deal with it a ton except for the back here. So I need to get like my Nazi thing going on again. I have my jawline is weird as far as how this grows. See, it comes over here, but over here it's like it doesn't as much. This is just natural. So I have to cut this down so it looks not as round as, you know, I don't know. It's weird. I just use an electric buzzer. There are always ways to groom your beard with actual product, but I don't do that because my beard isn't big enough. You gotta fuck Jake to get mod. That's pretty close. Beard is theft. There was. Let me see if there's any more good questions. Don't cut the 50s dad haircut. No, just the sides, dog. Taxation is theft. I have a Jake fetish. Ugh. Ugh. I think to make that work, you're gonna have to have a Sarah fetish too. What's going on? You have a very attractive face. You need to lose a lot of fucking weight first, though. Yeah. I'd say I need to lose some weight. I am, just slow. Why are you guys trying to have sex at me now? I don't like it. Are you guys going to do a TBR Christmas special? Possibly. It could turn into a live stream where we try to get our Patreon donations up in exchange for crazy shit and giveaways. Just based on we're gonna have to pay a lot of taxes this year, and also I'm just the stability of YouTube in general. Like our ad money has been going down, so we'll see. But I would like to, if we don't get to do it during Christmas time, I'd like to do a charity stream after that a few months later. Anything is theft. Can we be classed as fetishes? I think so. Is alcoholism a disease or a character flaw? Interesting question. Both my parents are alcoholics. Not to bring this very positive stream down a peg. But both my parents are alcoholics. I don't talk to my dad, but last I knew he's starting to get liver issues. He's old, so I mean that's happened. He's got to be in his 60s now. Fuck, how old am I? No, he might be 59. Not quite 60. Or 58? And my mom's 59? My mom's 59. She'll be 60. She actually looks pretty good for her age, considering how much she fucking smokes and drinks. But she's calmed down on the drinking. She tried to self-medicate, I think, and then she got addicted. Like, they got divorced, and then both their drinking, they already drank a lot. They were probably already alcoholics, but their drinking went up. And it's taken a while for it to come back down. I think it's a little bit of both. It's definitely a character flaw first. Because I come from alcoholic parents who, if it is hereditary, I would be an alcoholic, right? But I'm not. So it can't be that fucking severe of a disease. But at a certain point, it's a disease insofar that, like, not a communicable disease. Like, you can't sneeze on somebody. But it is a chemical dependency, right? And disease is a disorder of structure or human function, or function in humans or animals or plants, especially one that produces specific signs or symptoms or that affects a specific location and is not simply a direct result of physical injury. It's a chemical injury, basically, so it does count as a disease. But it's a thing that you as a person can beat. I mean, it's proven that you can. And it starts with you on whether or not you even pursue it. You can't just be an alcoholic when you're born. And I mean, you can probably be addicted to alcohol when you're born, but you'll detox because not going to baby's alcohol. But you know what I mean? Like, forever and ever, you're not just going to always have alcoholic symptoms unless you drink the alcohol. So that's on you. That part's on you. At least dormants of those with genetic alcohol. Sure, I mean, yeah, but I have whiskey in here. I could go make a drink and not have to drink a shit. Like, I don't drink a ton of beer. Like, I bought beer when we moved in here, and I still have it. Like, not all of it, but I still have it. It's 100% a hereditary trait. Right, so I should be an alcoholic. But what I'm saying is, while I probably have the genes that could make me want to be an alcoholic, you know what I mean? Like, I probably have whatever chemicals they got going on in the brain that predispose them to addiction like that, because they both smoke too. I might have that, but I don't have addictive tendencies because of watching that, and it makes me uncomfortable, basically. So it's a thing that you choose to get into, not a thing that you choose to be severely affected by. Does that make sense, I guess? And then you have to make the choice to stop it, because the only negative part of the alcoholism is the drinking of the alcohol constantly, and that's an action you take part in. Like, it's not like alcohol is drawn to you. You know what I'm saying? You're drawn to it. So you have to stop that. That's kind of the point here, is like, it sucks, but that's your life. That's something you got to deal with, and you should deal with it in the right way, not the bad way. Jesse Defer. Jake, I'm sorry. You're already apologizing. This is going to be good. How much would you spend, and then people will tell you that you are a cute butt, so after that you can then have some fun and answer my question? Just, I don't know what that means. Are you trying to sex me? I don't know what that means. Okay. Talk about revolutionary Catalonia. No, thank you. Why is this turning into sex? Is it being a furry if my fetish is shaved humanoid dogs? I think anthropomorphic animals is kind of where that lies. So if you have a fetish for anthropomorphic animals, that's your thing, man. You guys are trash. Jake, what would you like to be the last question asked to you before you die? Shit. Do you bleed? Jake, do you enjoy fantasy or sci-fi? I enjoy both quite a bit. I'm very amped for Star Wars that's coming out. Obviously, a little bit of both, fantasy and sci-fi. Obviously, I play D&D, which slants heavily towards fantasy. I love Lord of the Rings, which is fantasy. So I love both genres a ton. If I had to pick between a great fantasy and a great science fiction, I lean towards science fiction only because I feel like the concepts they typically discuss are more interesting, like time travel or AI and the morality therein, like what makes us human, stuff like that. But fantasy often is character drama, so that's also interesting. Muhammad, music. What was it like growing up without religion? I don't know. I just kind of grew up. Basing it off of what I've seen other people grow up like, though, it seems better. That's for sure. Like, a lot of people have guilt and shit that I just don't hold on to. I don't really have any guilt that I deal with. Like, I don't feel like I should do a thing or not do a thing based on, like, I don't know, sin, I guess, or the concept of it, or like what was right and wrong growing up. I feel like I was always just taught like treat people as good as you can. Try to not be a cunt. I don't know. There's it didn't really affect me at all growing up, and it was odd for people to be religious. It didn't I don't know. It didn't affect my life at all. Like I knew about church, but there was just not an influence. Like my parents probably discussed it with my grandparents, or maybe my grandparents just stayed out. My grandparents are very religious, but they never brought it up. I was never forced to go to church with anybody. If I wanted to go to church, it was like an option I could take, because like I'm spending the night on a Saturday night with one of my buddies. Specifically, I remember one of my buddies, his name's also Jake, and his mom just passed away, actually, which is why I think I'm probably thinking of it. I went to the funeral. And we used to go to church if I would spend the night on Sundays, which is a common thing during that. Like, they were part of basically my childhood. And it never really affected me. I don't know. Okay, for $5, had to get you to say my name live this time. Hoofed Blackie donated $5. Thanks so much. Oh God. Jake, if you're okay with rape, incest fantasies, do you have the same view with animated or drawn bestiality, pedophilia? I just can't help but have a problem with it, even though it's not real. I don't have an ethical problem with drawn porn, like animated porn, that people like, even if it's fucked up. I have an that's ewy, that's icky to me problem. It's not, like, ethically, I can't possibly make an argument that says you ought not to be able to jack off to a Japanese schoolgirl getting raped by a tentacle. That's not something I'm into, that's something you're into, but it's drawn. Ethically, it doesn't really ping on my radar. Does that make sense? Like, and I'm okay, I'm okay with the rape and incest fantasies as far as ethically, as long as they're not actually acted out like in reality, and it's just like an act. Does that make sense? But it's not something that I seek out, you know? It's something that I understand. Like, I get it. I think there's people like to be submissive and dominant and stuff, and at a certain point it tips the scale into a rape or, I guess, incest, and it depends on how that's framed, but it just tips the scale. And I think taboo things can be turn-ons for people, which makes sense, because you're not supposed to do it, and you get aroused by the idea that you're not supposed to do it. And so that, I mean, ethically, I think it's fine as long as no one's actually being hurt. And especially because it's an outlet for the people that would be attracted to that to not instead perpetrate it. It's probably just a good thing. So yeah. Jake has a hentai radar confirmed. I don't think I've ever watched a hentai. I've certainly never jacked off to a hentai. What's the best hamburger you've ever had? It's that's a weird question that I have an actual answer to. There's this place in Grand Rapids, Michigan called Stella's. It's a whiskey bar, and they make fucking fantastic drinks. I'm going to go there in the summertime or the spring for sure. They also have amazing French fries, and they have bacon popcorn. Ugh, so good. What is it? I forget the name of the... Is it just called Estella's Blue Burger? It's was voted on by... God, it was one of the... It was, according to GQ magazine, it was the best burger in America. Let me see what it was actually called. Oh, fuck you. Or one of the best burgers, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, it's a blue cheese stuffed burger. And why can't I find the fucking name of it? It's just called the blue stuffed burger. That's why, because it's just okay. It's super good. It's black Angus beef, and it's got blue cheese in it, which I know some people don't like. It's got bacon, whole wheat buns, and they make a chipotle aioli. It's just so fucking good, and it's just nice and balanced. Dan Strong with 1,000 yen, I believe. Let me make sure. I'm sorry, what? Is that actually that's 151 US dollars? Is that real? What's the late? No, that can't be that much. It can't be that much. That's crazy. No, it's going down too fast for that to have been that much. I don't know. Maybe. Either way, thank you so much for whatever that amount is. Will the legacy of Harold Penisman continue in the future? Yes! With our Patreon, our goal is $1,500 for Patreon, which actually is at $1,423. So we're going to try to make a push for it because we also want to get to the $2,500 mark, which would allow us to be able to afford stuff like trips to the Ark Encounter Museum and stuff like that. But yeah, the Harold Penisman Show is our next goal, and it's close. So that's a thing that we want to try to get to. And I think that would be just fucking awesome. I really like doing Harold Penisman. Miss Jessa gave $5. Thank you so much. Do you know Diamanda Hagen? I'd love to hear her read a chick tract with you. And also Brad Jones as Cinema Snob. By the way, I recommended DH's Passion review. I recommend DH's Diamanda Hagen? I've never heard of this person. Let me do a thing on the YouTube. Letcher bitch? Okay. 19,000 subscribers. Is this a male or female? Looks like a female or something. Okay. So it looks like a early YouTuber coming into it. Looks like we got some, or at least someone, maybe they're non-binary. I don't know what their gender is, I guess. I don't know. I'm just judging on the hair. Maybe it's a man, or maybe it's a trans woman, or I guess it doesn't really. That's not important. I'm just trying to get my bearings here. There's a face paint motif happening here, though. I don't know. I have never. Oh, you said her. We'll have to have her read a chick tract. So, Brad Jones as Cinema Snob. Yeah, Brad has wanted to come on. We'll get a hold of him. He was busy with his he thinks she's just a butch sis. That's fine. Brad was busy with the movie last year, and then we just didn't get to him this year because I was moving and stuff. Do you think Philip DeFranco has a script or interns constantly searching for mentions of his name online to help him maintain his image? What do you mean? I find Philly D to be a pretty reasonable guy. I don't know. Maybe I don't watch a ton of him though, so I could be wrong. Red Bear has a good question. Okay. Red Bear, is this rape? I have a friend who's a twin. They are dating girls who don't know they have a twin. They secretly switch places to fuck each other's girlfriends. I think it's rapey, to be honest, and it's scary. Is that... Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I think that's fucked up. Yeah, that's really fucked up, and probably, I think it's probably rape. Yeah, that seems coercive, and yeah, so yeah. Philip DeFranco gets on your nerves. He seems pretty reasonable to me. Again, I don't watch him a ton, so I don't know. If that's not rape, that's like the closest you can get without it being that. But it, like, I'm trying to figure out a way it's not rape. I think, yeah, I'd consider that definitely a very big problem. So, Zambi, $2 on Super Chat. I watch TYT a lot. Why do they get a lot of hate? It's because of the fervor in which they do things, and sometimes it's sort of marinated in disinformation or slanted stuff, and they tend to side with further left people than I tend to agree with. And while I don't hate them, I know a lot of people do. And also part of it is this sort of cult of anti-SJWs that take everything anyone says, and it's got to be like, you know how they get. People like that enjoy atheism is unstoppable, like Devin's trash, like people like that. By the way, I'm almost done. If you want to get your last questions in, probably going to stick around for another 5-10 minutes if the questions are good. So again, if you want to make sure that your question definitely gets read, go ahead and do the Streamlabs thing to make sure it pops up on my thing. Otherwise, I will just do my best to get to some of you. Jake, why are you so pretty? I don't know, man. Thanks, though, Ahmad. Jake, what if you were dating a girl and you found out the girl has a twin and she's been secretly switching and you were fucking two twins without knowing? I think that's actually a situation where a woman can rape a guy, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's no different. Just because guys would think that is cool generally doesn't mean it's not rape. You can, I think... Can you consent after the fact, though? That's an interesting conversation to have. I like that hypothetical thought experiment, but I do think that is yes. If you get home and they have a dick and you say, no, that's not right. Yeah, fair enough. God damn it, is someone being stupid? So is a trans not informing their transgenderism a bit rapey? If you don't fuck, it's not rape. How the fuck can you... Are you real? Like, if they just, like, is a trans person and you end up finding out they have a dick and then you don't have sex, that's not rapey. That's just they didn't disclose that they had a dick. That's stupid. That's really fucking stupid. Jake, are you sports fans? If so, what teams? Yeah, every Detroit major sports team. Lions, Tigers, Pistons, Red Wings, although to a lesser degree with the hockey recently. Both Michigan and Michigan State. Gary the Skeptic donated $2. Hey, does gender even real, though? Yeah, gender's real, but the thing about gender is like a social aspect that we typically associate with sex, and people can't seem to get around that idea. People are very... Like, I don't care what the fuck you think you are. That's fine. I just think if you present yourself as typically culturally female, and then someone says ma'am to you, and you get upset and say, I don't identify as a female, and you fly off the handle at that person, that's on you, not them, because you are not the norm. Now, if you ask me, if you typically dress like a female, a cultural female, so, we all know what cultural female means. If you typically dress like a cultural female and present yourself as such, and then you tell me, by the way, just so you know, I identify as a man, but I like to wear this, I will do my best to call you by the thing that you want to be called by and address you as such. I think that's absolutely reasonable, and if you get mad at someone asking you to do that, you're an asshole. Because I think it's super reasonable to ask someone to be, they're being honest with you about a thing that isn't super popular. So yeah. Also, who cares? Honestly. Snape Lady donated $2. Fave Harry Potter book. Oh, Snape Lady. Of course. Fave Harry Potter book. I am going to lose some nerd cred on here, but I have not actually finished the book series. I finished the movie series because I was sort of phasing out of the age group that was in and into things that I was too cool for it for a little bit. And then I became re-cool for it, but I didn't have time after that to read the books. My favorite movies, and so I assume my favorite books are The Deathly Hallows. Or is The Deathly Hallows, clearly part 1 and 2 of the movies. They're well-shot films, and I just really like the story. It matures a little bit, and it kind of shows us where the characters, we always thought that they would go. Specifically Hermione, I think, is really great. Zambi, $5, thanks so much. Last questions. Will Illinois or New York legalize cannabis in 2018? It does no real harm. Smoke with us sometime. Live stream while high. It'd be good. I don't smoke a ton. It's might be legal here in Michigan. I don't know if Illinois or New York will legalize it in 2018. I hope they do. I think it's a reasonable thing to want legalized. I think it helps people with a lot of different stuff. Specifically, cancer patients can really use it if it's legal. People that deal with a lot of chronic pain, athletes, people with maybe as a supplement to clinical depression meds, and people just having a shitty day. Helps with stress relief. Helps with blood pressure. Bad for your lungs. Objectively bad for your lungs. So it does do some real harm. But that said, I let you get cirrhosis of the liver. I don't know why I wouldn't let you get lung issues from the tar and stuff. And although I will say I think it's personally better than cigarettes. Although I think it's like 5 times worse technically, or something. That could be just propaganda from the cigarette companies. I don't know. But cigarettes don't have any benefits really, in my opinion. Maybe appetite inhibitors, but that's only because your mouth is occupied, I think. I guess stress relief, but only because it relieves the sensation that you need nicotine in your system. But yeah, I think weed should be legal. I think it just has too many benefits and is about the same severity as alcohol. Although I'd say it's less so as far as the amount of consumption typically that occurs versus the effect. So yeah, I don't know if they will, but I do hope it. And I don't know if I'd ever live stream super high. We did for 420. So maybe every 420 we'll live stream high. I don't know. So we did last year. Maybe we'll do it again. Have you ever had your own concept for a superhero or villain? Yes. Hugo and I, this is true. We briefly wrote 5. Well, I wrote the scripts. But we had 5 episodes of a thing called Uber Pals, which were it's a bunch of superheroes, but being a superhero is just like a normal job, like every day. But they're like low-end superheroes, so they all have to like get an apartment together, so they rent a house together, and then they work out of the house, and they have like shitty powers, and it was a comedy thing, basically around, and I think it was going to be mockumentary style. I kind of like that. But it could. I think the style that Always Sunny does is best, where the camera's standing right in the scene and it's an actual set instead of like sitcom. And definitely not. I don't know. I think Office mockumentary would also be fun, but it might not work as well. But so I was the writer and kind of the director, but it never got off the ground. We never actually did anything with it. Us and a bunch of friends. Captain Whip Eyes, who has invisible whips attached to the pupils of his eyes, so I can go like I go and whip people with the eyes. My weakness was horse blinders. Then there was like Captain Sarge or something. His power was unbridled patriotism and perseverance. There was the Fuzz, which was just our friend Richie, who's very hairy, and instead of hulking out when he gets mad, tiny mustaches pop up everywhere, like a unibrow mustache or a mustache here. And he would hulk out, but he was more of a cute. He was just sort of dumb, like I like marshmallows, sort of dumb. I will talk to you, certified teacher, in just a second. What else? There was Dr. Fishans, which was a doctor that was in charge, but he had fish for hands. But it was a coincidence that his name was Fishans. So stupid. It was absurdist, but it was also funny because the unbridled patriotism guy, Captain Sarge or whatever his name was, he was actually a Mexican, but it was a little bit before its time. He wanted a wall to be built over Mexico, and he didn't know he was Mexican, but everyone knew he was clearly Mexican. Like he would grow a mustache every day, and he wouldn't be able to shave it. Like he had a 5 o'clock mustache, and then he in his sleep would eat tacos. It was silly. It was absolutely stupid. But I really love it. We actually talked about it like a couple weeks ago, and maybe that could be a long-term goal. But I would love to film that. But I would need actual like actors and stuff, and actually have to pay them. I don't have money for that shit. That'd have to be a Kickstarter, and we'd have to budget it, and we don't have the equipment for it. It'd be expensive and probably not worth it. But it's funny. So, certified teacher asked for $1 on Streamlabs. Any chance TBR won't permanently keep you from being a certified teacher? I really don't think it will in the long run. I'd be pretty honest with it. You know, I mean, this is technically educating. Honestly, it's just crass education. I was gonna probably go for college anyway. I was probably gonna get my master's before I actually taught, and I was probably gonna do it in my older years anyway, since this is what my job is now. I want to focus on entertainment as a career. I think it's really fun, and it's really helped me have like an outlet constantly. So, but yeah, I think overall it's probably fine. Okay, so wrapping up here. Last few. Also, a lot of edgy people in this fucking comment section. Dun, 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 I don't know. Horizontal again. How to deal with jealousy in your youth and now? Jealousy that you exhibit, or that others exhibit. Well, the easy one, jealousy others exhibit, just fuck those people, get it, doesn't matter. Jealousy you exhibit, ask yourself why you're jealous and be genuinely honest with yourself. Like actually sit down and have a conversation with yourself about the reasons behind your jealousy, and then ask yourself what the point of your jealousy actually is. Like, is your jealousy accomplishing anything? Is your jealousy helping? Is it harming? And then ask yourself, is the jealousy warranted? Are you putting this person or this idea or this activity or this thing on a pedestal? Or is it just something that, you know, is actually the way it should be to garner your jealousy? So, yeah, it's just, it depends. It depends on kind of the situation, but how you deal with it. Just be honest with yourself. Okay, so last questions. I'm wrapping up in like 2 minutes. 2 minutes. But you guys are all talking about all sorts of crazy shit. Is it worth waiting for someone with commitment issues? Probably not. I've gone through that before. They're selfish people usually. They don't know what they want. They usually have some sort of fucking mental problem. It can suck, but in my experience, it's never paid off. So, I'm not one that has commitment issues. Can you recommend a good console game? Yeah, sure. I can recommend a few. If you like sports games, NBA. If you like basketball, NBA 2K has a fantastic series. It's always good. Horizon Zero Dawn is genuinely super fun. I like the Arkham games for Batman. Zelda and Mario Odyssey are both fantastic. So yeah, those would be my picks right now. Have you ever watched Jean-Francois Gariep? No, I have not. JF from Drunken Peasants. No, I haven't. What's the smelliest fart you ever ripped? I don't know, but I have some smelly farts. Can you please take off your shirt and suck on your nipples? I have been edging for hours. No. Maybe we'll do that for Patreon goals, though. Do you like any of the Civilization games because of your history affinity? I try to get into them. I guess I just don't like 4K games, even though that sounds like something I would like. Maybe if I had someone teach me, but I get addicted to that kind of stuff, and I end up spending way too long doing it, like streaming for 3 hours straight. But, Miss Jessa donated $1. Brad Jones was actually reviewed a movie with that person. Also be fun. Jones, know him too, by the way, as a trans woman. Thank you for what you said. You're welcome. Thank you for the donation. You're the best. Okay. Something about a testicle. Luis Cortez. Jake, I'm not sure how much you know about the subject, but does having a single testicle in your scrotum since birth affect me developmentally? I'm 19 at the moment and kind of worried and embarrassed asking. Developmentally how? I would imagine that it would affect your testosterone output, but I can't know that for sure. If Randy is still here, which I don't think he is, he would know because he's a med student. He's my friend. He's almost a doctor. He's like 4 months away or something like that of being a real doctor. I'm very proud of him, actually. But I don't think you should be embarrassed. I mean, you're just born without a ball. That's just like live your life, man. Ice break with that shit. Drop your nutsack. Actually, don't. But talk about it. I don't know. Don't be embarrassed. Fuck it. Like, the only people that are going to see your balls anyway are people that want to see your balls. So, unless you show people your balls just randomly, don't do that. Tricking anyone into sex with you, regardless of particulars, is rape. I agree with that. You don't get to trick people into having sex. Yeah, it's just, what the fuck are you talking about? He's the worst fake doctor ever, yeah. Dearest Jake, do you love me for who I am, or do I have to change to receive your love? No, I love you for who you are. Guy with the Minecraft Cooper avatar still. Bum, 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 bum. Tell us the story of how you punched your brother. Okay, I'll close on the story of punching my brother, unless it's a Streamlabs or a Super Chat. I will try to get to you anyways. But, the first time I ever got into a real fight was with my brother. I was probably 12, so that makes him about 9. He could have been 10-ish or something. Anyway, we shared a room upstairs. And my house growing up was like a 2.5 story, so it had 2 sets of stairs. So one set of stairs went all the way upstairs to the mid-level, and another set of stairs was next to it, and it went down into the basement that was halfway out the ground, if that makes sense. That's pretty typical concept in the Midwest. So we had a room upstairs that we shared, and so I woke up for school one morning. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just in my underwear. You know, I'm just a kid in my underwear. I'm getting ready for school. I get changed, I get dressed, and then I'm going to go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, take a shit probably, I don't know, pee, whatever. Just get ready for school. My brother, though, I remember he was specifically in whitey tighties. He was a little scrawny guy. Right now he's like balding, and he's put on some weight and he's filled out, so he's not such a dork, but he was a scrawny little fuckface. And so he wakes up in the morning. First thing he says to me, he's like 9 or 10 years old. He says, "Fuck you, Jake," for no reason. I was like, okay. I wasn't gonna. I don't know. He was having a bad day. I don't know why. But and at the time in his life, he was angry. I don't know why. He had ADHD and he was kind of dealing with that shit. But he was like lashing out at people, and he's super calm. He's a nice person now. I really like him. I love him to death. He's a very nice kid. He's not a kid. He's an adult person, but you know what I mean. So we're walking out towards the bathroom, and the way the bathroom works is on the top of the stairs, it's my room, my parents' room, and then the bathroom right here, right? And then the staircase in front of that. So I have to walk across sort of a small hallway. The staircase is to my right, so I'm walking this way, going towards you, which you are the bathroom door. And he grabs me by the shoulders and tries to throw me down the stairs. So I grab on the sides of the wall, and I catch myself, and I push myself back, and then I grab him, and I go, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then I throw him down the stairs because he says, "Fuck you!" And so I throw him down the stairs. He tumbles down the stairs, and at the bottom of our stairs is a closet where we kept the shoes. I remember him going gong on the thing where he kept the shoes, and it pushed it open. And so there's shoes on the ground there, and he grabs a shoe, and I run down the stairs after him because fuck this kid. He's holding a shoe. He runs down the second set of stairs, and so I turn the corner and run, and as I'm running down the stairs, he takes the shoe and throws it at me, and it hits me in the eye, and it hurt a fuck ton. So I grab him, and at the time we had like a couch. He kind of ran to the couch to try to hide, and I grab him off the couch, and I slam him against the wall, and I go, boom! Boom! And then one more time in the stomach, and he falls on the ground, and he starts crying, and it was the first time I've ever thrown a punch in my life, and it felt orgasmic. God, landing a punch feels amazing. My mom broke it up and was really confused about the whole thing. And I was like, I'm fucking confused. I don't know why he just... So that is the time I punched my brother. That was the first time. So, yeah, that is it for the stream. I think we hung out a long time, and it was a lot of fun. I appreciate all of you guys hanging out here. Yeah, you're welcome. So yeah, that's my story. What do we got going on next week? Next week is pretty standard. We should have the special features out for all patrons. I did not blow a load. Hey, it's me, your brother. And you're welcome for the content. So we're going to get the Patreon thing out. If you're not a patron yet, I suggest you do so because it helps the show a fuck ton. And youthrally.org, yes. Go to youthrally.org and check that out. Stephen Fair did pay for a shout out for that, so go for it. I don't eat ass, not a big fan of buttholes. And, you know, treat each other right, man. This is worth like 10 Bible readings. And join the Discord, which is a link in the description if you do it. But if not, just go there. Whoa! And so go to the Discord. Definitely consider, even when we're not streaming, if you go to my Streamlabs and donate, you are helping me out. Boop, like that. And you're under the impression Jake is an ass man. I am an ass man on the outside, not an ass man. I'm not the inside of an ass man. And so yeah, thanks guys for hanging out. It was a lot of fun. I would have had a pretty boring night. We would have just been hanging out watching movies. But yeah, so love you guys. You're the best. You're just the best fans in the whole world. Jake is correct. Fuck rim jobs. I think we should leave on fuck rim jobs. Well, don't fuck the rim job. Just don't give them.